him. Like the first time I did it in the first half, I can't remember a single time in my career where I even did that before that point. And it was just kind of like one of those things where I found myself in a similar situation. It worked before. It was just weird how it ended up working out as I was getting hit. But just that learning point along with the movement thing. But we know just from the tape also too, even though there's a lot of things to clean up, especially just from an operational standpoint and making sure that we're staying on schedule and first and second down, that we still have a whole lot of confidence in this offense and in this team. So there's a lot of great things to take from it. But yeah.
Was the processing, you were pleased with how you processed your decisions at the line of scrimmage and then making your reads on the defense and letting the ball go?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that other than, I could think of a few plays from a quarterback play standpoint, whether just the missed go ball or an operational thing that I could have fixed. And then obviously that interception. Other than that, a pretty clean operation, good balls for the most part. But just got to keep working to get better and be even more clean.
From last year and from preseason, on this that we're talking about, you'll learn from the throw. From last year and from the preseason, with you not sliding and taking some hits, you've said you'll learn from that, and you dove into contact in this game rather than showing that you've learned from those things. So can you understand that there's some doubt about I'll learn from it based on the fact that the one example we have, you haven't shown that you've learned from it?
Yeah, I think it was I was looking forward to putting that on display a little bit, but I think the couple opportunities where I did have the ability to pull it down and try to get that first down, I just felt like it was right in that area where if I slid, I wouldn't have got it, and I just needed to just be able to fall forward for a couple more. So I think in third downs or in certain situations, it's going to be more critical for me to know where the sticks are once I get past them to be able to get down. And so I'm not just guessing and hoping that I need a few more or thinking that I need a few more before I get the first. But no, it was something that I was thinking of, but I just think it was just those couple weird situations where I thought I needed a couple yards to get us that first.
Brian said there was no yelling at you about the mistake or at any of the guys who made mistakes in this game, but that there come times that he and guys on the staff will yell at guys. Have you seen that side of him and of the coaching staff?
For sure. No, I think towards the end of training camp, we had a day where coming off of probably our best day of camp, followed by one of our worst days where he let us have it. So it's good to know that no one's safe, that we're all able to get it, and rightfully so. And we got to make sure that we're able to take it, understand that he just wants the best for us, and it's good for him to show that side every so often.
Jets defense, it was pretty uncharacteristic for them on Monday night to give up 8 straight scoring drives. What are you kind of seeing from them on tape right now?
They're looking good. It's a different defense in terms of where we think the holes are and where we think our opportunities are compared to last week, which is cool. So I feel like we have some good stuff lined up for them. Obviously, a good defensive front, and we're gonna have things to handle those interior guys and protection, and then secondary. They're really good, really solid on the outside. Obviously 1, but 4-2. He's gonna be good out there for them, and hopefully we just find ways to take easy throws, then also find ways to develop one-on-one shots down the field. So they're good for a reason. They do things well. DeMario does a great job of leading them in the middle there. And like I said, I feel like, though, we do have some good things that we're going to be able to work against them and hopefully open up and give us some good ops.
Did you guys talk around Rodgers in the offseason?
I saw him actually when I was at the Kentucky Derby. So we have our agents we work with the same agent, so it's kind of funny. So, but great dude. I've spent a decent amount of time with him, hung out with him a handful of times, and looking forward to seeing him on Sunday.
You know how old you were the first time you saw him play, and amazing how he's had such a long career?
No, I don't remember exactly how old, but it is amazing. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He's still got a heck of an arm on him, and I'm looking forward to watching him operate on Sunday, but hopefully our defense can do a good job of stumping him.
Your connection with Calvin during the
Sorry?
camp. A lot was made of your connection with Calvin. What did you feel like it was on Sunday and maybe on the one ball, I guess, where he went and you threw it behind? Like, what did you guys talk to?
Yeah, I got hit when I was throwing that ball. I wish I could have put more on it. Like someone got my shoulder.
Talking about this, the second half one where
You wanted to come back.
Yeah, I got you. We were trying to work a throw there and we weren't on the same page, but just a miscommunication thing there. Something that we'd worked a lot on that we hoping to bring out, but we're just going to keep working. I got all the confidence in the world in him, and he does a great job of making sure that he lets me know that I got everything it takes to be great in this league, and that we have a potential to have a really good connection. So it's going to click, and we know it's going to come together on Sundays, and we're going to keep working every day to make sure that it does.
How big is it for you to have D-Hop back? Brian said he's probably going to be close to a full workload this week. How big is that for you, because you guys had such a good rapport with each other last year?
Yeah, it's big. I got a good feel for him. I know that, understand how he feels space and the little, minute details that might be different with him compared to other guys. So it's great for us. It's another threat for the defense to have to worry about, and we're going to continue to build this package and get him back to full speed. So it's great to have him back, and definitely feel comfortable whenever I'm throwing the ball his way.
Going back to that Jets secondary, what are some of the things that Sauce Gardner brings just to make him so capable of traveling with receivers?
Yeah, just his length, his ability at the line of scrimmage to create contact and to just make a receiver uncomfortable. We're going to have to find ways to get off contact and get him running. So I think if we do that, I think we have some good things to do against him, but we're not going to be attacking him every play. He's good for a reason. We've got to make sure where he's at all times. There might be some routes or plays where, even though we might love it because of the matchup, it might be one of those things where we're moving on or trying to work something on the other side. So, he's got all the attributes. He got the size, he's got the speed, and the technique. So he's a great player. We're going to keep working this week to find out different ways to hopefully get some good stuff to work against him.
Learned a lot of offenses over recent years, even in college. What do you think goes into taking it to the next level of mastery and comfort? And I know you're only a week in with the regular season, but what's that process like?
It's just time. There's no obviously you're working your tail off to do all the mental reps that you can, but the progression of comfort comes with reps, and it's really just the stuff you got to do. That's why every single time I step on this field and every time we get reps, whether it's a walkthrough, a jog-through period, or a full speed period, those are so crucial for us. If you're a guy that's run the same offense for 6 years straight, even though you're never really supposed to take a rep off, you might be able to go through the motions a little bit more. But none of us have, earned that earned that ability yet, and we got to come out every single day like it's a Super Bowl rep every single time, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get to where we want to with learning this offense.
Learn about yourself. You hear the saying all the time from game 1 to 2, that period. Do you guys kind of talk about that in terms of adjustments and just what you can do in that second game?
No, I'm just gonna try to play my game. I know that I have what it takes. I don't have to do anything different to make it work for this team. Watching the film, it's not like I felt like I needed to change many things from a technique or just operation standpoint. Obviously things to get better at, but there was no freak out moment of, oh gosh, things has got to change. I'm going to keep being myself just as all these other guys are, but we're just going to be better versions of ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right. There you go. That is Will Levis, QB1 for the Tennessee Titans. 3HL broadcasting live from Twin Peaks in Rivergate. More on that in just a bit. If you want in, 615-737-1045. We can work you in real quickly. Coach Matt coming up, presented by Two Rivers Ford at 3:20. Guys, your initial take on what we heard?
Well, I'm stuck on that last soundbite just now.
No change to technique.
I know I don't have to change anything. There was no freak out moment watching the film. I'm going to be myself. Just need to be a better version. I get it, but I kind of disagree with him.
I wholeheartedly disagree with him. Slay keeps bringing up him drifting in the pocket.
Right.
I mean, that's technique.
Yeah, that's and
like that last line really got me.
Yeah, this wasn't from what I took from that press conference automatically. It wasn't a win everybody over. I think as an athlete, sometimes you can get locked in, and this is his first rodeo on this. You can get locked into what you've got going on as far as the team, not really hearing the outside noise, which is good, which is great. I think you still got to be a little conscious. And listen,
of what you put on tape.
Yeah, and what you say out your mouth, more so than anything. Like, because you listen, you don't have to win us over, but what goes hand in hand is the people that's coming in there to support you and scream on Sunday. Now, if you tell them people like, hey, I got you blocked out, man, I'm looking at the tape, I don't see much I need to do, I just need to be a better version of myself. No.
If
I'm in the game and I miss free throws over and over, Hey, y'all, listen, I missed them free throws. I got to get in the gym. I know I'm about 85%, but I got to get in there and shoot some more mentally and go through my routine to get back to the basics of it. I should never miss those. That's a better version of myself. But I'm going to say that and own that, too. That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
I thought that last soundbite that we just heard coming off was toned down.
That's a rough one.
By Will Levis.
That's a rough one. That's a rough one. But at the same time, I understand being locked into your room, in our team, and how many times has he heard it's one game? It's one game. It's one game. Let it go, dog. Move on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I'm just trying to look at it from gain something from his perspective, from a player's perspective, why I would block it out and feel like I don't need to address that.
He also pushed back, I don't know if you heard, on the sliding and protecting himself kind of thing
Trying to
part
pick up the
as
first
well.
down.
He's like,
Yeah.
well, if you look, those were moments where I felt it was close enough. If I slid, I wouldn't get it. It was that important to be able to get the first down. But so he kind of pushed back on that as well, that he wouldn't have done anything different in some of those moments.
You know what, man, and I don't want to question his circle or anything, but me personally, if I have the resources available for me, I got to reach out to some of these people, man, that have come before me. One in particular, I was listening to the Bustin' the Boys podcast they put out with Peyton Manning, and him talking about how the people that he relied on, the coach, what's my guy name for the coach? Playoffs.
Jim Mora.
How Jim Mora kept on going to him like, hey, man, I'm leaving you out there. You got to figure this out. Peyton talking about Will Levis and how he needs to think about some things. Like, and hearing Belichick talk about you, hearing champions talk about you. Pick up on it, man. That's a rough one, man. That's a rough one.
That was rough.
That's a rough one.
It's his first one after a rough
It's week
game.
one, man.
Right.
It's week one.
So we will give him all the benefit of the doubt.
But can't you just say, like, hey, man, there are always things, we're going to find on tape.
But he ain't got to.
No, he doesn't.
He ain't got to. But one thing he do got to do on Sunday, you shorten the wick on your little light.
But to
on your little candle
definitively
right
say I didn't see anything technique-wise I need to change.
Now, that being said, that was the end of his press conference. That was the very
That's why I'm
last
saying
answer.
We might have missed something.
We need to pull the front part of it that people didn't hear, too, to hear right off the bat what he said. But I felt as a whole in that media session, it was not a win for Levis. It's fair to say.
Your grace, it's just
what it is that coming off of that ridiculous underhanded flip that lost them the game,
Yes.
like the combination of those two things.
And we saw you just
That's
do
right.
it in the third. You did it in the third quarter too. Just showed y'all all 22. He did it in the third quarter and got away with it.
Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll get Coach Mack in here, presented by Two Rivers Ford, as we broadcast live from Twin Peaks
Keep
and
my powers
Rivergate.
dry. I can't wait.
27.6 degrees. The cold beer here at Twin Peaks. More 3HL next. 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening to you, Big Slade? Coming to you with Shoney's, man. Delicious has been trending at Shoney's, and you need to get over there. It's been happening for 75 years, so make sure you head over and get some delicious meals today. Over in Clarksville, Dixon, Lebanon, and on Donaldson Pike in Nashville. Now, you also got to understand, the Music City Grand Prix is coming, so Shoney's is also proud to be an official family restaurant of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Join in on the action. Packed weekend of racing, concerts, and festivities with Shoney's Family 4-Pack. It's the best deal on the 2-day passes that you can get for this event. Go to MusicCityGP.com to get your family tickets today. Understand this, you can enjoy the delicious and endless variations of what they have on the fresh food bar. Shoney's all you can care to eat fresh food bar is always there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just dive into it. It's always happening. Be there for it. It's delicious, always fresh. Let's eat. It's Shoney's.
It is football time in Tennessee. Where are you catching all the college and pro games this season? Scoreboard Bar and Grill is where. There are 3 locations, so one is near you. Scoreboard Opry near Opry Mills Mall in Donaldson. Scoreboard Cedar Creek in Mount Juliet. Scoreboard Four Corners in Laverne. All Scoreboard locations have brand new football menus with new food and drink items, sure to impress anyone. We've been to all 3 locations many, many times, and perfect place to watch games for sure. Some of the best hot chicken, slow smoked ribs, wings, and barbecue, the coldest beer, the largest bushwhacker selection in Nashville, and all locations have plenty of free parking. Scoreboard Bar and Grill has its own built-in party. Every Scoreboard has tons of TVs, and we'll have all of your favorite games with full sound. Oh, and get the Scoreboard is giving away UT tickets to every home game all season long. All you need to do is watch their socials for more information. If it's football time, it's Scoreboard time. Scoreboard Opry, Scoreboard Cedar Creek, and Scoreboard Four Corners. 3HL 104.5, The Zone Wednesday edition. Just rolling through the week toward another big football weekend.
And we're here for it, y'all.
It's not, this weekend's not like huge in terms of marquee national matchups, but it's still college football Saturday coming up.
And there's so much around it. And I think, like what Babs was talking about, y'all were talking about yesterday, even though it's on paper not big games, something's bound to happen. Like with this 12-team playoff, like, who would have ever predicted Northern Illinois going in there and beat Notre Dame?
I mean,
nobody.
That program had never beaten a top 10 team.
Exactly. Who would have predicted Alabama struggling with South Florida like that?
Well, they did last year too, but yes.
Yeah, New Year.
Yeah, that's true.
New coach.
Alabama at Wisconsin. Alabama favored by 16, 11 a.m. on Fox. LSU at South Carolina. A little sneaky.
I think there's going to be a sneaky little, backdoor watch yourself game.
Wait, what?
Okay.
LSU -7 in that one.
South Carolina defense is good, Babs.
Why? What? Yeah, but their offense is not.
Very true. And I mean
so
very
true. What was the difference in them? Like, was their offensive line better in that game?
I think Kentucky is worse than we thought they were, but
Okay.
I also think that those DNs.
Kentucky shocked me.
Yeah, the DNs, and I think it's with Kentucky's line again. Regardless, like they couldn't handle it. Those DNs, them young DNs, they some animals for South Carolina.
They are.
They are
I just wonder if that short passing game with Garrett Nussmeier nullifies some of that in that LSU.
Great question.
LSU. I'm going to go LSU -7 in that one. But, Chris Lowe said yesterday, he said, look, man, I can't sugarcoat this. Kentucky's just not good on offense.
Well, we see it.
5-star quarterback.
Yep. That's who ain't good. Well, I don't know. I got to watch him
Georgia
closely.
transfer.
But he damn sure look like he ain't good.
3 out of 10 for 30 yards and a pick six.
Vandegrift, or was it?
Yep, Brock Vandegrift. We'll go through some of those, some more of those matchups a little bit later in the show, but we've got Coach Mack here, presented by Two Rivers Ford.
Coach Mack.
Coach, what's up? How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing good. Just got off the practice field. Looking forward to this and then going back to watching the Jets.
Powder dry moments all around, Coach Mack. I think we're begging. I don't know if have you seen LeBron James play lately when he throws the rosin up in the air? But we need that kind of powder to fall down on the masses of Titans Nation right now.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You guys do the math for me. Somebody's got a computer there. How many games I've been in is 38 times 16, whatever that is. I've never.
We don't do math.
I've never experienced one like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced a game where you lose to an opponent and they score 24 and you don't give up a defensive touchdown. I mean, there were so many circumstances in that second half that basically just gifted that game. And look, I mean, I was there live, and I don't know whether the sound came through the radio or the television, but they were all primed for a big event, and they were booing that group off the field at halftime. They were, that Bears fan base will turn on you quick. They expect a lot, and they were booing them off the field, and then the Titans let them right back in it. And so, the defense really played stellar defense all day. And offensively, I mean, you just pump the ball, and you probably win the game.
Play clean football, you win, and win easily. So, are some games just harder to get past than others, or do you just flush them all the same way in terms of losses?
You got to flush it. I mean, I'm on the Titans radio's on the team charter. That was a very somber and quiet team flight. I promise you, there wasn't a sound on the bus, there wasn't a sound loading that plane, and there wasn't a sound coming back. So that hit everybody that's involved with the Titans pretty hard, and I'm sure it hit the fan base pretty hard too. But you got to come back from it because you can't. You guys know the old adage, and I'm not going to even use it, but about letting one bleed over into the other one. You can't do that. But that was hard.
Yeah, you don't want to lose 2 games on one Sunday, right? From a coaching perspective, how do you ensure that the guys don't let it linger?
Well, I mean, you got to correct it. First of all, you got to be very honest, and I thought the head coach was very honest in his evaluation after the game. I thought he was very honest today. In the things that he said, he's going to be up front, and you have to be very honest in those film evaluations too, because the players see the same film. All the coaches, you know, you don't gloss over anything, and you have to address what it cost you. You have to accentuate the things that you did do well, because not everybody did everything bad. But I mean, it's so close in this league, you can't afford to let up, and that's a great lesson in this league. You can't afford. You see it all across the board all the time. You can't afford to let up in this league. Teams are just too even, and then you give one away like that, which is what you did. I mean, you've got to avoid the things, and you got to point out the things that led to you giving that ball game away. You have to do it, and they've done it.
Coach Mack, we kind of along these lines, we just listened to Will Levis's press conference, and you know, one of his quotes was, you know, I didn't lose sleep on Sunday night, and I think maybe some people have an issue with that. And then one of his later quotes was, you know, I know that I don't have to change anything technique-wise, and I'm a quarterback in this league, and maybe that has rubbed people the wrong way. But could that be a product of Will Levis already flushing this, and we just haven't heard from him, and it being Wednesday already?
Yeah, you got to flush it. You know, as a player, you have to flush it. You really do now. And there are clearly things that he needs to work on, and he's been told of things that he needs to work on. But I didn't hear him. But if you're saying, I believe you. But what, you know, to me, what he's insinuating there, and what he's talking about there, he's got to continue to prepare. Because, you know, he's prepared, but you can't look. You can't. You've got to regret it, and all of those things. Look, there's no. It's just his career, so believe me, he takes it hard. It's his career. It's everybody's career. Look, you live on the edge in this league. I lived on the edge for 31 years in this league coaching. I know what it is. So but you've got to be able to go out and perform again. So I don't think he's being flippant about it at all, because if you're flippant about it, then you won't last long.
The Bears seem to have done a really good – Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, the Bears seem to do a really good job coming out of halftime in terms of adjusting to what Tennessee was doing offensively. What did you see from the Bears defense that gave the Titans trouble in the second half?
Well, first of all, let's talk about halftime adjustments a minute. Guys, you've got about 8 minutes at halftime. So what you're adjusting after every series. You have got electronic pads now that is easier than ever to adjust. The only thing you might be able to do, and I can tell you because we did it, you get those electronic pads hooked up to a screen, and then the plays are already up there when you go in at halftime. But what they did, they continued to press the offensive front. What they continue to do, because they got gashed in the first half. You know, those gap runs they were running in the first half where you're pulling somebody, they were getting gashed. So they tightened down some of their anchor points. But other than that, the halftime adjustment thing, I think is overblown and goes back to the days when you used to have 20 minutes at halftime. You don't have that. You got 12 by the time the whistle blows, and you got about 8 by the time you get into the locker room. So the adjustments are being made throughout the game, and you try to get ahead of your adjustments every series. But it looked to me like, I mean, that front was getting abused in the first half by the offensive front, especially the run game. They tightened that down early on and just started creeping the safety down a little bit. So to take them out of, you know, first and second down games and put them into a lot of 3rd and 7 plus. That was the issue. And then the pass protection's got to be better. I think, you know, from tackle to tackle, the pass protection has to be better. I mean, when you look at it and you go back and watch the tape, and I know Bill Callahan's done this too. I mean, all you got to do, you can't have that much pressure on your quarterback. You just can't.
Do you think that Will Levis could have done a better job of climbing the ladder in the pocket?
Well, it depends. I mean, what play are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because there were different pressures. The thing that he cannot do that he did some early on was start drifting.
Yeah.
You got to stay center point, and you would have to go to a specific play as to which pocket it is, because all pockets, you'd like to keep all pockets the same, but they're all different every snap depending on who's winning up front.
You know, it's interesting, too, if you go back and watch the All-22, which Slay loves to do, and we do it quickly during breaks on Mondays. But how things could change dramatically if one block is made on a specific play. Like we were watching the Traylon Burks reverse, and if Boyd gets that block down, that thing's got a chance to score even.
It's like you're saying in the press box, and I said it under my breath. I said, "This thing's cut. This thing is cut." But then you don't get that edge block. You're 100% right. That's the beauty of this All-22 now. I mean that everybody can see. Of course, coach's tape. I grind it hard afterwards. I mean that the only sound on that airplane coming back was those iPads being turned on. That was it. Watching that game. But you're right. I mean, I said it under my breath upstairs. I said, this thing's cut. And it wasn't. And you're right. I mean, but that's the league. That's why, people think you're exaggerating or when you say every play is an interview. Well, that's exactly what it is in this league.
Let's talk about that defense, man, and Tavondre Sweat, brother. In real time, you could tell the impact he was having.
Nasty.
Just destroying the interior offensive line of the Chicago Bears. And then I talked to Greg Cosell, and he just started laughing when I brought up Sweat, and he goes, he was dominant. They could not block him. And then you watch the All-22, and you see some of these clips that are being thrown out there on the internet. That dude had a day in Game 1.
Don, what'd you say?
Nasty, to quote Ron Slay.
Because, both of you are right. You could see that immediately from the start. And remember, going into the game, I think we talked about attacking their center guard triangle. They really did that. They did it Big Sweat was amazing. Plus, he plays all that percentage of plays. He's in there. He's not only knocking it back, he's chasing to the side. I mean, they dropped him in a spider drop one time in coverage. He tips the pass. This dude's a big, athletic dude. You guys were at enough training camp to watch he and Tracy Rocker work. And you get the early work that Rock did with him. If you guys were ever down there one of those days, the thing that he continued to enforce on him was just stay low, stay down, get a better stance, get a better stance. He was really working for power angles with a really good stance this entire game. I mean, he was knocking people back, but he was also redirecting sideways. I mean, I love that. That's a great combination there. Plus, Sebastian Joseph Day and Colburn played really well too. This defense, I think you'd have a hard time finding somebody on this defense that didn't play a really good ball game from the line of scrimmage.
Then, Coach Mack, you look at that defense, and we talked about the offense and what they got to do they can get better. They can get better just from watching film. But when you see the instinctive feel of the game start to come back to guys, how much of a difference is that going to make when you start talking about this defense being able to get turnovers and takeaways from the offense? Like, it was so many, man, but I mean, a centimeter away from interceptions, guys being right there on the ball. I saw two at least. Quandre Diggs was one, and I think I forgot who it was. It may have been Amani Hooker on the other, but they were that close. If they get this thing fixed and start getting those takeaways, how much better can this defense be?
Well, the other thing they worked on hard, Ron, to your point, they worked hard on matching hands because that's a short quarterback.
Yeah.
I didn't ever say it before we played them, but I mean, it reminded me a whole lot of the defensive game plans we used to put together, and this group was the same group put together against Russell Wilson, the shorter quarterback with a good arm and that can jackrabbit around. But they had a really nice plan on him. But they had 4 ricochet rabbits that went up in the air. Now they didn't get any of them, but you keep matching hands like that, and when the ball's coming out quick, you're going to get something done. But that entire defense, and the other thing to your point, which is a really good point, that secondary really hadn't played together yet,
right.
But you would tell they were veteran players. You could tell they were veteran players, and that means a whole hell of a lot. And those guys behind the ball too. I mean, to me, from front to back, I mean, you keep that going, and I know that they'll keep that same intensity going because I just know Denard Wilson and his group. They keep that same intensity going. Now, but people are going to score touchdowns. That's just life in this league. But you've got to keep that same mentality. Defense is a lot about mentality first and consistent mentality. I liked what I saw up there in Soldier Field.
How much of a difference can Ernest Jones make with another week and with some more snaps?
Well, he'll be in there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's
He'll
got 3
start,
years.
right?
He's got. I don't make the roster, Don. I don't make the depth chart.
You better.
31 years I made the depth chart. I don't anymore. But he's a good
Well,
player.
the answer is yes.
The answer better be yes.
Well, y'all can make that. You guys got more
Yeah.
than I do.
Yeah, we will.
He's got 3 years of evidence that he can play really good football behind the line of scrimmage.
I also want to mention Roger McCrary, man, getting up the field, 3 tackles for a loss from his slot corner position. What did you see from him?
Good. I'm glad you said that, Brent, because you're 100% right. He always gets kind of lost when you start talking about, because you got 2 really solid dudes out there. He played a really good football game. He played a very structurally sound football game. Very structurally sound, which is important. And then, I mean, he showed up. I'm glad that you brought him up. And also, I thought Brownlee did a nice job when he got in.
Yes, he did.
And so to me, when you got that kind of mentality and production from those guys. Now look, this is an entirely different challenge this week with this guy that's coming in here, because you're going from a guy that's never seen anything in the league from behind the line of scrimmage for coverage to a guy that's seen everything. And then you've got a guy that's got one of the quickest release for Brent's favorite piss missile. This guy is one. He's one of the originals. So this is a different challenge from this quarterback, believe me.
And you know what, Coach Mack, another guy that we're forgetting about, but I saw he's practiced this week. You throw him into a guy that's sitting on a spot that likes to get the ball off from a spot with these tackles that he has with the Jets, Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is a whole nother wild card, Coach Mack, when you get to throw him in there.
I was glad to see him back practicing today. I'm interested to see what Denard, has in store for him. I was really happy to see him back and practicing today. It was good to see him out there, because the more players that you can get, regardless of what level they're on, that you can get active, that can help you, it's important. And plus, there's another guy that has played a lot of NFL football. That matters. That matters a lot.
There he is. He's Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford every Wednesday at 3:20. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Guys, appreciate you guys. You know that. See you.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Titans and Jets coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about that when we come back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from Twin Peaks at Rivergate. The beer is very cold. 28.8 degrees here. Come by and see us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock on 104.5 The Zone.
Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. If you need replacement windows and doors, this is exactly where you need to go. And I'm going to tell you some things about Pella that are all based on this 2022 survey of leading window brands among homeowners. I'm going to point out that homeowners rated Pella as the leading window brand in Nashville. Number 1 by Nashville homeowners as the window brand worth paying more for. Number 1 for innovation. The most trusted window brand, and homeowners in Nashville here recommend Pella Windows more than any other window brand. I can attest to that, and I can recommend Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville to you as well, because I've used them, and I know that their products are awesome and they are great to work with. They've got a deal for you, 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 full months. All you have to do, schedule your free consultation, check out that limited time offer, and set it all up easily at PellaNashville.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone Wednesday edition means what? It also means Twin Peaks and Rivergate. That's where we are.
That's right.
Do they officially call this Madison?
Yeah, I think so. But this is really Rivergate.
Yeah.
Madison to the newcomers to the city.
We love giving directions to places based on things that
And you know what?
used to be here. But Rivergate's still here.
When we used to get on the city bus downtown, the bus used to have Rivergate on there. They had one that
That's
said
right.
Madison, but they had one that said Rivergate too. So
I had my Easy Rider card. 35 cents.
I don't remember what it cost, but yep, I was on.
That's what it was.
Okay.
I went to Hume Fog. Rode that bus for like 2 hours. to get
You
home.
had to get on the
Yeah. 615-737-1045, always the number. We joined In Progress, Will Levis's press conference. We missed the first 4 minutes of it, so we're going to play that for you now as we continue to broadcast live from Twin Peaks. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. Eki Bop has got his table right inside the front door. You can get the QR code going for Creed and Three Doors Down in November. Also, Post Malone. He's got koozies. He's got Oilers, pennants. He's got all kinds of things. So see Bop when you come into Twin Peaks and Rivergate. All right, here is how the Will Levis presser began.
You said on Sunday you felt like that was the first game where you felt like you were kind of responsible for the way that it ended. How do you go about flushing that week to week and pulling back on mistakes but not changing the way that you want to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming to work the same way I have every day, regardless of what happens the day before. And that's been the MO since day one. I feel like it's also a part of my game that I've improved on a lot in my career. There have been times where a game like that would have lingered for days, weeks, and really just kept getting to me. But I didn't lose sleep Sunday night. I knew that I'm a good quarterback in this league, and obviously a lot of things to get better on. But watching that tape, I still have that confidence and knowing that it's just kind of a fluke play that I can definitely learn from. So, I've still got all the confidence in the world in this team and everything. Just got to come to work every day the same way, regardless of what happens.
Go ahead, John. I was going to say, what about your footwork, Will? I know you've worked on that a lot in the offseason. Did you feel good about it in an opener, or did you feel like there's some times where you kind of went backwards a little bit? What were your thoughts?
I felt really good. I think in the beginning, maybe that first third down, I got a little bit, wasn't like in the timing, or at least kind of like how my base was feeling at that point. And I can remember one other time where I moved off my base, sliding left in the pocket where I didn't need to. But other than that, I felt clean. I felt good in my base. I felt like I was delivering clean, accurate balls.
Like, I guess for the team, you think putting Sunday behind you, turning the attention quickly to the Jets, and maybe what's the challenge this week?
I think it's just staying positive. I think that's definitely something that we all need to remind ourselves with. It's easy to kind of groan and get down and complain after a tough game like that, but I've been really impressed with how the guys have come into the building the last couple of days, flushed it. Instilling confidence in me, letting them know that they still got my back, which is great to feel and hear as a quarterback, especially after, the tough end of that game. So I'm just happy that we all have that right mindset and we're all coming in working in a professional manner, getting ready to get a win Sunday.
A lot of the defensive guys after the game, like, they wanted you to make sure that you knew that loss wasn't on you. Like, how is that to have your guys on the other side of the ball really back you like that?
Yeah, that's, like I said, it's great to feel that. We wanted to make sure that there was no division in the locker room after a loss like that, and there definitely hasn't been, and it's great to see that and to hear those words from those guys. And I just want to let them know that I'm coming even harder this week for them, just to make sure that we're ready to get back on track here this Sunday. So it's a tough feeling, it's a bad taste in our mouths, but we got a great opportunity to rinse it out this weekend.
Is that a situation where, like, you go to them like, damn, man, my bad, that was on me? Like, how does that type of dialogue go?
Yeah. No, I think after that game, it wasn't really anything. I wasn't going around the locker room. I think they all know that it's something that, it's not the best decision on my part, but it's something that I can learn from. And there's, as Coach said, I'm going to put it on myself, and I still feel like it was on myself. But there's a lot of people that we know as just a whole team, as a whole unit, we can get better. And how if we want to win a championship, then we got to get better across the board. So it's great to know that we just have the personalities and the maturity in the locker room to be able to move on from those things, not point fingers and not let it linger on.
Brian's approach towards you in the aftermath, maybe after the game, and then when you watch the film on Monday?
I think it's just taking the lesson of any time you are trying to throw the ball away, never feel like you need to do it in an unorthodox manner. You know, that's just a learning point. Like, I think I was telling him, like, the first time I did it in the first half, I can't remember a single time in my career where I even did that before that point. And it was just kind of like one of those things where I found myself in a similar situation. It worked before. It was just weird how it ended up working out as I was getting hit. But just that learning point along with the movement thing. But we know just from the tape also too, even though there's a lot of things to clean up, especially just from an operational standpoint and making sure that we're staying on schedule and first and second down, that we still have a whole lot of confidence in this offense and in this team. So there's a lot of great things to take from it. But yeah.
There you go. That's the first part of Will Levis. So that puts it in better context as we played the rest of it at the beginning of the show, don't you think?
Let me tell you this. When you're on a roller coaster and you're going in there blind and you're going in one of them little caves, you don't know where you're coming out, it's always good to know where you went in.
You talking about like Space Mountain?
Yeah, man.
That's a good example.
That gave me so much more. And I'm sorry for jumping on the ride late. But, boy, that helped. That helped so much. It was so much more clarity to it. It was so much more. I felt like he did take responsibility of it. But the one thing I will point out, when you get away with something the first time, to me, and you know it's wrong, that's luck.
Mm-hmm. Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Don't think you can get away. So hopefully, like you said, I've never done that. Cool. I hope you learned your lesson from doing it. It worked, and it did work. But, boy, that could have been a fumble too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So luckily you got away with it. Don't do it again. I apologize.
Bill Belichick yesterday.
I apologize. I take a little bit of that back right there, the heat that I gave him a little later.
I also didn't like his last comment in his presser, though.
But I feel it's different.
But he also did address the drifting in the pocket a little bit
too.
in the beginning part.
He said two things. He said it's a learning experience, that play and the movement thing.
Yep.
That's all we. I listen.
And then the didn't lose sleep on Sunday. I know that went everywhere, but like when you hear what he said,
there was more to it.
Yeah, he said I used to have a problem with letting things linger, and I've really been working on that. And I feel like I'm at a place now where I don't do that. I didn't lose sleep on Sunday, and that is a better,
like he's
more
showing the growth
more complete
in himself.
Answer, yes.
That's why you always got, hey man. Sometimes do a little digging on your own, people.
Context,
man. Don't. Yeah, I mean, some people just put stuff out for you to click on, or like a soundbite. This sound good with the dots behind it. Like, don't take that. Don't take that. Take that for a grain of salt, man.
Do you ever worry about hitting your head in Space Mountain, even though you've ridden it?
Yes,
I do.
Before?
Yes, I always duck. I always duck.
Really
I duck
do.
every time. Yeah.
I mean, I am 5'7", so
and I like to put my arms up, and I don't do that no more either. No. Yeah, I ain't playing around.
The armless basketball player. That'd be
good.
tough to do.
That ain't good. No, dude just won in the didn't I send that to y'all? Was he from China that won the butterfly with no arms? Exactly. And he did it in like 36 seconds.
Oh,
yeah, won gold. I'm sending to y'all. Don't worry, I know what to do.
That's the best athlete in the history of the world.
Man, this boy cold. It was the Paralympics.
But you know, if they turn the lights on in Space Mountain and let you look in there, there's probably tons of room for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't feel like it.
It don't feel like it. And it feels so chilly, and I love it.
How was your night last night?
Awesome. Clue was really funny.
You went to Clue at Two-Pack.
Two-Pack? That was yesterday.
T-Pack, yeah, last night.
T-Pack.
Yeah. How were the bathrooms at the Hermitage Hotel?
I didn't even go in them.
Why?
Because
it's the best in the history of the country.
I know, but I got there later. I'm sorry. I'm not taking pictures in the bathroom,
We
guys.
needed pictures of the women's restroom, Babs.
Yeah, sorry. No, and I had sushi and risotto, and it was so good, so I didn't have time to hit the bathroom there.
Okay. All right.
Had to do it at T-Pack. But yeah, it was fun. So if you guys want a fun hour, 20-minute show, no intermission, like just
also
clear your brain, have fun, go to T-Pack's Clue.
Oh, my man's getting it. Wow.
Yeah.
And he was clowning.
Getting
through there.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen the movie Clue, see the movie Clue. I know it's old.
So
but
Mr.
old movies
Babs
are good.
hasn't. And so
Never
he
watched
had a totally different experience watching last
you
night
did.
than I did because
Yeah.
he hadn't seen it.
By the way, tomorrow we are at Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Juliet. We have tons of giveaways tomorrow. We've got 3 pair of Titans Jets tickets. We'll give away 1 pair each hour. We have a Titans long sleeve shirt, a bottle of wine from the Foolish Club, and check this out. In the 5 o'clock hour, toward the end of the show, not only will we give away that last pair of Titans Jets tickets, we will give away a Jeffrey Simmons autographed helmet.
Ooh, that's fun.
Oh, we got plenty of stuff to give away. That's what I'm talking about. That's the energy I'm looking for.
Take that. By the way, the Titans-Jets line is down to 3.5 now. That is incredible.
What do you think? No,
all these guys doing the butterfly with no arms.
Let our radio listening audience know that you're not saying that the line moving down is incredible. You're watching. Watching
an incredible
the Paralympic,
the Great Guo of China.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you go look that up on social
with
media.
no arms.
Yeah, it set a world record.
So the Titans-Jets line was 4.5. That's where I got it.
Yeah,
it's 3.5 now.
Okay.
Titans a 3.5-point underdog.
Did you get it 4.5 before Monday Night Football?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Titans and Packers. The point spread is already out for that one.
I'm like Mariani. I don't want them.
Titans are a 2.5-point favorite against the Green Bay Packers. Malik Willis coming to town. Although
maybe.
Maybe.
Have you seen them saying Jordan Love might play this weekend? Get out of here with that. What's his name?
Matt LaFleur?
Yeah.
Wow. Throw the bait out there. We ain't biting. And we don't want them points.
All right.
Tannehill's going to be a Packer soon, right?
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I keep wondering. That's immediately what I wondered. And wouldn't Malik Willis?
I would come back. I would come back, play that one, and retire.
Malik would be like, "Are you kidding me? Can I not get away from that dude?"
There would be that storyline. The other storyline, Tannehill coming into Nissan Stadium trying to beat the Titans. All kinds of things going on if that were to happen. All right, when we come back, your reaction to what you heard with Will Levis, 615-737-1045. We've also got college football point spreads for you. All kinds of things going on at Twin Peaks in Rivergate. We'll be here till 6 o'clock on 1045 The Zone.
Fellas, if you're often feeling a little tired, you're lacking motivation and drive, you're gaining weight, and you just can't get out of the bed, you're like, man, I'm feeling a little groggy, I got something for you. Get to Low T Center. Get over there, get your levels checked, and get your results back in 25 minutes or less. Now, get your T levels checked. All of this right there in the convenience of their lab. It's right there on deck. Low T Center, your BMI and health can also be evaluated. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, football is back, and Zen Sports is here for us too, baby. What better way to bet on the big games than on Zen Sports, the new sports book right here in Tennessee that is bringing sports betting to a whole new level, literally. You sign up for Zen Sports, you automatically earn a $100 no-danger first wager. If your first bet loses, you get reimbursed for the amount of your bet, up to $100. And for football season, Zen Sports launching a revamped betting platform for both college and the NFL. Zen Sports also offers daily promotions, odds boosts, some same-game parlays. Maybe you liked what Will Levis said today in his presser and you want to, build a nice little Levis same-game Titans parlay. They offer no-danger wagers and much more, and they have a really cool VIP program. You can earn monthly comps at games, at sporting events, at concerts. Zen Sports is just awesome. And Zen Sports betting just got better. What are you waiting for? Start betting with Zen Sports. You have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. No danger wager limited to plus 500 odds to qualify. You must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Good afternoon. It is 4:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Twin Peaks out here in Madison. The Titans are back on the practice field today as they turn their attention to the Jets for their home opener on Sunday. Jamal Adams returned to practice after missing all of last week and told reporters that he is ready to go for Sunday's game versus his former team. Will Levis spoke with the media and was asked about the team's mindset moving on from the Bears' loss to facing the Jets on Sunday.
I think it's just staying positive. I think that's definitely something that we all need to remind ourselves with. It's easy to kind of groan and get down and complain after a tough game like that, but I've been really impressed with how the guys have come into the building the last couple of days, flushed it, instilling confidence in me, letting them know that they still got my back, which is great to feel and hear as a quarterback, especially after, the tough end of that game.
In Tennessee football news today, running back Cam Seldon and freshman wide receivers Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley are expected to return versus Kent State on Saturday night. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Dawn Davenport. Oh, yeah, there she is. Dawn Davenport's here.
What up? Happy Wednesday to you people.
What up, Babsy?
What up?
Bringing the noise to Rivergate. Twin Peaks is where we are. This place is huge.
So much space.
That bar is huge.
That table over there is having a ball.
They've reached the loud part, when you start talking really loud after you've had a few beers.
That's the best part.
I love that part.
Yeah, that's the greatest part.
Were you talking loud at TFAC?
That's what, yeah.
Colonel Mustard did it!
Yep. Yeah, that double wine. So I always get the double on a wine when I'm watching a show because the single glasses are so small that you can't even walk with them. Then you'll slosh it everywhere. So I always get the double because the glass is bigger, and then but then you get the double.
Yeah.
What I should do is say, can you give me a single in a double glass? But I don't do that. So yeah.
Listen.
But I always have a good time.
We're part of the Gift Ride alumni. Don't worry about it.
Or like when,
gotta explain,
when Slay gets the triple Tito's.
Yeah,
do you want a tall glass? No.
No, get them in a regular glass. I want it triple. If it got to spill out, let it spill out. It's okay. I get it.
We'll mop it up.
Yeah, I promise you.
And speaking of that, go to North Italia. They always ask you, do you want the 6.5 ounce pour or the 9 ounce pour? I'm like, does anyone ever say 6.5?
Yeah, somebody probably just starting out.
They said
I do sometimes.
They said not very often.
Yeah.
Not very often.
I usually do.
But you get the double at the TPAC.
Yeah.
Party on at the TPAC.
That's right.
Do we call it the TPAC?
We do now.
The TPAC. Yeah.
Real quick, today is certainly a significant day in this country as we remember today marks 23 years since 9/11. Almost 3,000 people woke up that day and perished that day. So certainly thinking about all that everyone that was affected, and we all were in one way, shape, or form. But if you lost a loved one, a friend, we certainly are saying prayers for you. And can't believe it was 23 years ago today. And still the lasting image for me is watching first responders running into a situation where people were sprinting away from. Mm-hmm. And so salute to all the first responders out there that wake up every day and don't know what's going to happen that day, And, man, 23 years.
That's crazy.
If you have a chance to go to the 9/11 memorial, do it.
Will ball.
You will ball multiple times. That is definitely true. But
one of the most emotional things I think I've seen.
They have exhibits as you walk through there, and you'll hear phone calls from people in the building to their loved ones, and
on the planes.
On the plane, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's roll was the famous famous line there from Todd Beamer, who went to Wheaton College. Oddly enough, Burke Nihill spent time there. He's from Wheaton, so full circle. Titans and Jets coming up this weekend. Titans, as I mentioned, a 3.5-point underdog against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. What do you guys expect from this matchup? Certainly a different quarterback, right? You got a Hall of Famer as opposed to a guy making his first start. You got a guy that's completely immobile in the pocket but can deliver the ball on a dime. We saw it. Don was talking about it yesterday about how you saw it, that he still had it on some of those throws.
Yeah.
And certainly on the touchdown drive, he got hot, you know. But two different things.
When that ball comes out.
Brian Callahan actually talked about the difference between facing the rookie in his first start and a 20-year vet.
The biggest difference usually is that they have seen everything, and so there's not a lot of hiding. Most of these quarterbacks that have played long enough at the level that he's played at, you don't really fool them very often. So you got to be sound in what you're doing and how you do it. You can try your best to make it hard on them, but for the most part, there's not a lot of things that he hasn't seen. And so it's all going to be about how we play fundamentally, how we execute our one-on-ones, how we stop the run, how we make sure that our rush and coverage are tied together. Those things are, the fundamentals is what really matters the most. And trying to trick a guy like that is not going to usually go very well for you.
You're not going to be able to trick Aaron Rodgers.
No, not at all. But
you will be perhaps able to pressure him.
And that's the big thing. I think you got two teams walking.
Slade called him a pirate yesterday.
He is.
Because he's like walking around on a wooden peg.
What's amazing to me about that analogy is that Don got it. Like Babsy got it.
Right away, yeah.
Babs spoke Slade right there.
Yeah, that's Nathaniel David Jones. She know what it is. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like this, but this is the thing. You got two teams walking in, man, trying to not go 0-2. And I think, man, you're lucky to be playing at home. In that situation, the schedule fell great for you. They got to go on the road back-to-back, so hopefully that gets to them. But, man, I'm ready to put our guys rushing off the edge against these two tackles because I thought as that game wore on, now, yes, Bosa is a different animal. But Floyd and the Harold Landry, I look at them the same. You know what I'm saying? Being able to get there. I look at them being able to get there, being able to do the same thing. So, when they get there off the edge like that, then guess what? I think it's going to be a problem for the Pirate being able to get out of that pocket.
The Pirate. Yeah. You just named him that.
That's his name.
Okay.
Kickstand.
Oh, boy.
Kickstand.
Kickstand's better.
Kickstand, okay.
Yeah.
Here's another thing.
You can't be the Pirate. Nope.
That tape that Tavondre Sweat put out there, did he just earn double teams? I mean, they started doing it in the game anyway.
All right.
In-game.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want the injury report, y'all?
Absolutely.
Yes, hit it.
Is it 15 people on it?
There are 3 players on the injury report.
Wow.
All listed as full participants.
Oh, what world are we living in?
And a new one?
What is this?
Nobody
Never
missed
happens
practice.
for the Titans. Never.
Jamal Adams, hip, full participant.
Yes.
Dylan Radins, rib, full participant.
Yes.
Otis Reese, concussion, full participant.
Yes.
There you go.
Love it. I want some more of it.
Javon Kinlaw for the New York Jets, defensive lineman, personal reasons, did not practice. Limited today. Michael Carter, cornerback. DJ Reed, cornerback. Carter with an ankle, Reed with a knee. Full participants, defensive lineman Michael Clemens with a tricep. Safety Ashton Davis with an ankle. And wide receiver Mike Williams with a knee. So
I guess Sauce Gardner he's
not on there.
Okay, that's cool.
So he's good.
Both teams pretty good.
Yep.
Coming out of week 1.
Let's ready to roll then. We want you full speed ahead. Let's get it. We ain't scared. We are not scared.
I mean, just from an NFL perspective, this game is going to be intriguing because it's going to be a war out there because neither of these teams wants to be 0-2.
No.
And for the Titans, it's an opportunity, if you can get the win, to go to 1-1 with the Packers coming in with a backup quarterback the next week.
Right.
And the Titans would be favored in that game.
And we ain't got nothing to do with who comes in playing quarterback. Sick 'em.
So in the matter of 2 weeks, you literally could go from what we just saw on Sunday to 2-1.
Yes. Then you
Am I too positive?
Good. No. Hell no.
Too optimistic?
What? No, you're right where you need to be. This is where they are. You see, they washed it away.
To steal a line from what Don saw last night from Mrs. White. He was always a stupidly optimistic man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it came as a great shock to him when he died. I'm always stupidly optimistic. But, but that's the life in sports, right? Like, and certainly the NFL. The NFL does a better job of this than maybe any sport in terms of offering hope.
Also, It's a really long season.
Long season.
One game doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Now,
one game turns into 2 and 2 to 3, and then it starts to matter.
If they're sitting there at like 7-7 with 3 games to go, and you're like 1 game out of the playoffs or something, and then you look back to that one, you're like, damn,
but it's
I'd
week
love to
1.
have that
you
one.
can't do that.
Week 1.
I'm just telling you,
It wasn't an
everybody
AFC
will.
South game.
Right.
I understand, but that could happen.
I'm sure that there's going to be another one. You can
Well,
look
only
back
one
at
team in
too.
the.
What's that, man? Oh, go Ravens.
Oh, no.
Got a dirty bird.
No.
You got a dirty bird, and dirty rats in the building. What up, baby?
So, on that, 615-737-1045 at 3HL 1045. We've got Todd Fuhrman coming up with the Bet the Board podcast. His college football podcast is out. Bet the Board podcast. Rate, review, subscribe. Todd Fuhrman next to talk about point spreads, some of the bigger games this weekend
I hate the Ravens.
on 1045 The Zone.
Wesley Mortgage. People get on the team. Who's the lead? Who's the lead? That don't even make sense. Who's the team led by? It's led by Chuck McDowell, man, local Nashville native. Caring about the community is what he does. Reinvesting in them is what he does as well. So why would he not invest in his own company? WhyWesley.com, a mirror image of what the city is. Bubbling. Yes. Get there, gets people behind you that want to support you. A support system put in place already at Wesley Mortgage to help you succeed in the mortgage business. You're probably thinking like, man, I can't never get my loans to close on time. You can with Wesley Mortgage. Making sure you get paid. That right there is a priority for them. That gives you back the time to do what you need to do to build your business back and have a little bit more fun in the mortgage profession. I also have networking opportunities with WhyWesley.com with the Tennessee Titans, Music City Grand Prix, and the Nashville Predators. So go to WhyWesley.com if you want to be a part of the winning mortgage team that is Wesley Mortgage.
3HL 104.5, The Zone, Wednesday edition. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport. Ron Slay is here at Twin Peaks. I'm in the building. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. We'd love to see you. The beer is freezing cold, below freezing cold, 27.4 degrees. Get you a drop beer here and cool off. It's about to cool off. We got like a tropical storm rolling through tomorrow.
Ooh, I saw that, which is not good for Sneds.
I know.
Golf tournaments, not good for...
Hard to do a golf tournament in a tropical storm.
There's a big soccer tournament in Franklin this weekend, travel soccer tournament. That's not good.
High tomorrow, 70 degrees. I bet the high tomorrow
What
is
else,
not...
Seth?
Randy Jordan, Titans running back coach, was spraying down the running backs today in practice with a hose.
Yep.
And then the wide receivers
I saw that.
as well with playing with wet football.
It was like a power
ready for
washer.
it.
Like, it was crazy.
Those things hurt.
Yeah.
It sting. Yeah.
I tore my feet up power washing our pool deck before the summer.
You was out there with no you gotta have the rubber shoes on. You got rain shoes boots for that.
I didn't realize.
Oh,
I didn't realize
yeah.
how painful it is.
Oh, them
It's got
things
expensive rain boots like every other woman. All right, Todd, it's going to be 70 degrees tomorrow here, probably not in Vegas. Todd, what's up? How are you?
Yeah, this is what we need to talk
I'm doing well. I wish I knew what the temperature was outside my office. I don't think I've seen or felt fresh air in the last 72 hours or so. The one thing I will say is the wildfires throughout California have definitely put a damper on our overall air quality. So it smells like a campfire out here in general. But before we get into some of the games, and I woke up this morning choosing Violent Slay, so I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up in that regard.
Oh, boy.
Talk to me about this weather. Are we expecting the wet stuff to come down on Sunday for the Jets-Titans game?
Yeah, this is what I want you to know, though. You're not the only one that woke up wanting violence. So I woke up feeling the same one. So same way. So I guess whatever nightmare you had, I had the same one, and now we get to bring it to reality.
Hang on, real quick. 65% chance of rain on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, that is good to know. We actually have not seen much in the way of line movement as a result on this game thus far. Total did open 43. We're not on that 40.5 range. Titans actually taking some money from 4 to 3.5. We can come back to the handicap. Now, Slay, I decided to pull up my receipt from over the weekend, the parlay I was sent with these numbers here where you decided to move point spreads.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on a second. I don't think you could buy enough points to get you to the window with a slip that included Notre Dame, Kentucky, and Auburn, with all three of those teams losing outright. So regardless of what you say, maybe you did need Mother Nature to help you out this weekend and shorten those games to less than 55 minutes. But go ahead. I took my shot. It's only fair that if I dish it, I'd be able to take it. So I am ready for what you're going to hurl in my general direction.
You know what? I thought for a minute you were my friend, but I feel like you're working against me because when I sent you that, I went back and said, you know what? I'm going to do it the Todd Father way. Maybe it'll work out, and I'll just keep all the lines the same. And that didn't work out for me either. So I'm going to need a little advising going into this weekend, so I'm glad you're on with us today.
Well, Todd illustrated as to why it didn't work.
Yeah,
that's all I was trying to do, Slay, is prove my lesson that even when you moved the lines in your favor, you weren't even in the same zip code in 3 of those games. I don't care what you did on the rest of the list.
That didn't happen the week before, though, Todd. I was in there, and I won.
He's right.
Who's right,
but the parlay payout that he had for the one ticket, if he goes 1 for 10, he's going to be a net negative in the grand scheme of all of this.
Yeah.
So that is the mathematical lesson here. And let me go on record, not just for the 3 of you, but everyone at Twin Peaks is listening and everyone throughout Nashville. If I could have $1 for everyone that came up 1 leg short on a parlay, regardless of it being 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let me tell you, I would own a lot more beachfront property across this fine country and probably wouldn't spend a single day in my own home office.
A lot more, meaning you do have beachfront property somewhere.
No, I might own a grain of sand from one of those souvenir bottles that I bought where you put a little sand in there with the penny, and it serves as a reminder that you put on your collectible shelf about how much harder you have to work to actually own some of that beach other than the 37 cents worth they put in there.
Did your syndicate have money line on Northern Illinois, speaking of Notre Dame?
Right.
No, we did not. But credit to Brad Powers. He bet the Northern Illinois team total over 7.5, and I think that cashed about 8 minutes into the game. That wasn't as easy, though, as if you bet the Bowling Green team total over, which I think cashed before we even got into the 5-minute mark. But pretty wild weekend of college football overall with some of those upsets, and it's really shuffled up the landscape, so much so that the SEC, which we knew was the preeminent conference in college football, for the first time in the 89-year history of the AP poll, the SEC is home to 6 out of the top 7 teams in the national rankings.
Speaking of one of those, you look at the Alabama-South Florida score, you think one thing, but if you watch the game, you saw 14-13 in the fourth quarter. Number 4, Alabama, traveling to Wisconsin. Bama, a 16.5-point favorite. What do you think?
Kind of no man's land from a point spread perspective. This number was significantly shorter during the summer months with Alabama widely available in kind of the single digits, upwards of 10 range. And now we've seen that price tag balloon out. But you're exactly right, Brent. You mentioned the scoreboard cosmetics. Anyone who watched, including Alabama fans, for the first, let's call it 54 minutes of that game, was sitting on pins and needles. And then the role reversal flipped late because if you had a USF ticket plus 30, you thought, I don't want to see a pick 6 end up here working against me. So Alabama, as a result, an overwhelming favorite. This will be the biggest number that Wisconsin has caught in their own building in more than 30 years. The last 3 times they've been a double-digit home underdog, it's all come against Ohio State in conference. You look at Wisconsin, not exactly overwhelming by any stretch in wins against Western Michigan and South Dakota. Tyler Van Dyke doesn't look comfortable running this offense. But I think when you're talking about this kind of atmosphere and unfamiliar territory, it's tough to go on the road and expect Alabama to win by margin. I think Wisconsin's defense can do enough, and as the total continues to tick down, I think the underdog is live. If it got to 17, I'd value bet Wisconsin, but not a game that I have any exposure in right now.
Fuhrman, I was very surprised by South Carolina's performance last week, and now they get, I guess, truly tested LSU. And LSU right now, 6.5-point favorite?
Yeah, numbers come down a touch. There are still some 7s out there if you find yourself making a case for the Gamecocks here. And, Don, you're right. I mean, you look at what South Carolina was able to do defensively, completely stymieing anything that Kentucky had aspirations of doing throwing the football. Brock Vandagriff looked completely overwhelmed in that game. And when we look at the Gamecocks, credit to them. They have a pair of rush ends right now that are starting to assert themselves in a variety of capacities. You look at what Kyle Kennard has been able to do. He has been tremendous, and the 5-star Dylan Stewart providing a spark, which makes for an interesting matchup here because LSU, for all the accolades around that talented offensive line, can't run the football to save their lives. I mean, last week against Nichols was an abject disaster, and John Emery, the only back that showed a little bit of consistency in their opener against USC, of course, lost for the season. So if LSU gets one-dimensional, plays into the Gamecocks' hands, and when I look at South Carolina on the other side, look, this offense ain't going to wow anybody with Lenoris Sellers and Raheem Sanders, but 7 can be a big number, especially as the under takes some money, so I can understand a little bit of a correlated parlay there. If you like South Carolina, you bet it under the total as well, because if the game goes flying over, it means Garrett Nussmeier's having way too much success.
Let's stay in the SEC. Tulane and Oklahoma. Oklahoma double-digit favorite going into this game. Tulane coming off a tough one with Kansas State. Probably should have won that one, but they didn't.
It's still weird to hear. It's still weird to hear you say that. Staying in the SEC, talking about Oklahoma. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to for sure. When we look at this game, I mean, Oklahoma offensively has really struggled. Jackson Arnold doesn't appear to be that guy, at least through his first 2 starts so far this season. I mean, you talk about another team that was more than a 4-touchdown favorite that looked to be in jeopardy of getting upset. I mean, Oklahoma scores 16 points. Tough to cover when you're laying 30 when you're only paying 16. Houston was able to clamp down defensively, and I think this Tulane team, if they can get up off the deck, is going to give Oklahoma some fits. Young quarterback in Darian Mensah that completed some explosives last week against Kansas State. Wasn't great down to down, but 2 defensive-minded head coaches, John Summerall on one side for Tulane, and of course Brent Venables for Oklahoma. The Sooners haven't played that fast with Seth Luttrell as their offensive coordinator. I think we're talking about a defensive-minded game where the number is going to matter. The problem being is you're taking Tulane now at 13.5. The ship has kind of sailed. As 2 touchdowns would be my cutoff, and the under has taken a lot of money as well, from 51 all the way down to 46.5. More importantly, though, the first half under, once our Bet the Board listeners got a hold of it, has been absolutely obliterated.
Obliterated.
Yep.
Damn it. Todd.
Mayor missed it.
Yeah, this is how we tell you to do things, Mayor. When the podcast goes live, the first thing you do is listen to the best bet, make sure you get the best of the number, and then go back to listen to the rest of the show. But yeah, we gave that out at 24.5, and normally I wouldn't play spoiler for our own show, but that number is now down to 22.5 through 2 key numbers in that first half.
Jeez.
Wow.
You guys moved the line in my game last week too.
That's what they do.
And you know what? We needed every one of those points. And trust me, we don't often talk about 2 being a key number, but I can tell you one thing. I felt a little bit more comfortable late in that game, Don, knowing I had 2.5 with Virginia when Wake was trailing by 1, looking for that go-ahead field goal. But the level of smarts, let's just put it that way, that I saw from Virginia consistently and their enigmatic quarterback would leave me scratching my head. So I could only imagine what it was like for anyone that was in earshot of Tony Elliott and how he probably wanted to pull his hair out through the better part of 3.5 quarters.
that was the best bet.
Yeah.
Yes, Virginia plus 2.5.
Okay, so real quick, can we hit my game this weekend? Backyard brawl, West Virginia at Pitt, and I think West Virginia is only favored by what, 1.5 now?
Yeah, this line took some money early this morning. The dog getting touched up. It drifted out to West Virginia -3. To your point, now sitting at 1.5. The over actually took some money as well from 60.5 at the bottom of the market. Now as high as 64.5 at some spots. And for those folks that haven't watched Pitt yet this season, the offense is going to look a heck of a lot different than what it has in previous installations. They want to try and run at a rapid clip. One of 3 teams in the country through their first couple weeks that are getting off an offensive snap in fewer than 20 seconds with the Alabama transfer Eli Holstein. Desmond Reed has been outstanding, the Western Carolina transfer that came over with his offensive coordinator. And you talk about the pantheon of Pitt running backs in the past. Reed actually accomplished some history last week, became the first running back, or player, I should say, in general at Pitt, to have 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in the same game. West Virginia are going to look to try and get back to running the football, but they have some questions that have to be addressed in the secondary, and I'm interested to see how that group communicates with that breakneck speed. So it should be a fun game, and hopefully for your sake, Dawn, the weather is a little bit better and much more exciting than the 17-6 game we saw between these teams last year, where neither team had more than 220 yards of offense.
Oh,
there were only like 14 passes thrown in the entire game.
Lord have mercy.
It was terrible.
Todd Fuhrman, Bet the Board podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, download the podcast, and those guys do an incredible job. Even if you aren't into sports gambling, you will have all of the information. They get you ready for all the big games coming up this weekend. Memphis at Florida State. I love Memphis. I do not love Florida State. That line when it came out was 3.5. Florida State by 3.5. It's now at 6.5. Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, and this was a price a couple of weeks ago where you could have laid 1.5 with the Seminoles. I can understand why, as the number continues to climb up, there is a very different school of thought. And I think Florida State has a lot to prove, not only to themselves, but the rest of the country right now. You lose this game, I mean, things get real squirrely, real fast, and we're talking about a team potentially on the outside looking in of bowl eligibility. Unfortunately, the world we live in college football, you lose the first 2 games of the season, players already start to decommit, and that's what Florida State is seeing. Mike Norvell, this game no doubt personal, close ties to Ryan Silverfield, who took the job after Norvell moved to Tallahassee, but I need to take the wait-and-see approach. This is a Memphis team who is a legit candidate to make the college football playoff as a G5 entrant, but this may be a step up in class. We'll see if Florida State was able to heal some of their wounds after a bye week of sorts, but tough game for me to try and get involved in, knowing that this number before the season started would have been north of 17.
Top Father, one way I was able to stay alive this past weekend was going with Tennessee, and the 3-par slays that I had with them all hit. So
wait, you bet that one up too, didn't you?
Yeah, I bet that one up too. Pushed that one up to 13.5, and I bet on the first quarter, the second quarter, and the first half. So and then I had 2 live bets for par slays going through and all of them hit Top Father. So now, playing Kent State at home, the rain is supposed to let up by the time the game starts. 49 points. A lot of points against Kent State.
Yeah, it is a big number, and rightfully so, given what we've seen from Tennessee through their first 2 games of the season. I mean, you hang 69 on Chattanooga, and that's a good Chattanooga team by FCS standards, and follow it up with a 51-point outburst against NC State last weekend. But credit to you guys. You told me the defense would be a little bit better than I expected coming into the year, and they completely suffocated NC State. I still want to see them play a little bit more of an up-tempo offense, but Kent State's not going to provide much in the way of resistance. I think it's just a question of when Josh Heupel and company decide to call off the dogs. I mean, Nico should have an excellent chance to pad his stats. I really don't expect him to be out there. after halftime, and it's a question about what the depth players will do. Kent State, not good by any stretch of the imagination. Not a ringing endorsement when you go into Neyland Stadium fresh off a loss against St. Francis of Pennsylvania, losing outright as a 17-point favorite. We saw what Pittsburgh was able to do using their high tempo against Kent State in the opener, hung 55. So I think it's Tennessee basically doing what they want when they want. You just always wonder about the level of focus, laying 7 touchdowns in this game.
Wow. Todd Fuhrman with us on 3HL. All right, Texas A&M and Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that this happened, but Billy Napier said he's going to play both quarterbacks, and the line immediately went from 3.5, A&M by 3.5 to 4.5. It didn't have anything to do with him saying that Graham Mertz was actually going to play some, did it?
Well, that number is now come back down. There are a lot of shops that are sitting with A&M right around a field goal favorite. Totals come down too, from 49 to 46.5. And again, going to want to monitor the weather situation in Gainesville. We know you have to check it by the day to figure out how that could be impacted. But you do wonder what that quarterback rotation will look like between DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz. I mean, Lagway almost feels like the lifeline for Billy Napier to be able to save his job, and a win against A&M this weekend would go a long way, starting off the conference play for the Gators at 1-0. A&M, meanwhile, suddenly the season-opening loss to Notre Dame looks worse than what we thought it was at the time, and you wonder if this team offensively can get on track. I mean, last year they went into the state of Florida, played a non-conference game early, and were boat raced by Miami. These are the kind of games early in the year that I don't have strong opinions on from a betting standpoint, but I think it provides a great litmus test, a measuring stick to figure out what these two teams will be as we get deeper into the season. But A&M's a side that I think we'll see gradual progression. I'm just not sure what we're going to get out of Connor Wegman. He has to bounce back from what was a pretty pathetic season-opening performance against that Irish defense.
Georgia at Kentucky, and this line with the best team in America is lower than what Kentucky just lost to South Carolina by. What do you think about this matchup in Lexington?
It is, and you figure Kentucky can't possibly be worse than what we saw last week against South Carolina. Famous last words, of course. But this was also a Kentucky team that lost 2 key cogs along their offensive line. That's a little bit problematic going up against the Bulldogs. And when we look at Georgia, look, when this team wants to focus and they want to go out there and put up crooked numbers, they are more than capable of doing so. You have to imagine, I don't know if there's bad blood from the Georgia side or the revenge game from Kentucky from transfer Brock Vandegrift looking to try and get things right. But it is pretty amazing when you look at Kentucky over the last couple of seasons, how much different this offense looks when Liam Cohn was their offensive coordinator versus when he's not there. The scariest part for Kentucky fans, they lived through the Lynn Bowden era when he was the quarterback. He never put as poor a performance passing the football on the books as what we saw last week. So I can't get behind the home underdog here. Not even a game that we covered on the Bet the Board podcast after thinking there was a good chance that this is where game day would head in the SEC had Kentucky taken care of business last week against South Carolina.
Vanderbilt trying to go 3-0 for the first time since 2017 and crush that 2.5 number. Their win total at Georgia State, 10.5-point favorites. What do you think?
Yeah, don't look now. A chance to be the second team to go over their win total before the month of September comes to an end. I think Louisiana Monroe was the first team to do so last week with their upset against UAB against one of Nashville's own and Trent Dilfer as an 11-point underdog. Look, I don't feel comfortable laying this kind of number with Vandy on the road under any circumstance. Am I advocating for the dog in Georgia State? Absolutely not, but it would definitely create a little bit of momentum. And we talked about it before the year that there were a couple of games that Vanderbilt had to win if they were going to go out there and exceed oddsmakers' expectations, this being one. And with the possibility there is more than a touchdown favorite, you'd think they can do enough on the offensive side. But it's not a game that I really have a strong opinion on. I think the market has caught up pretty quick to Vandy with their eye-opening upset of Virginia Tech in the opener. So hat tip to the Commodores if they can go over their win total before we even get to the third week in September.
Won't that be fun? Well, talking about getting off the mat, Jets coming to the Titans with the not the Pirate. She said I couldn't call it. The kickstand leg, Aaron Rodgers coming in to try to move the Titans and get a loss. Get a win. I think he's going to lose.
There was a whole lot there.
Yeah, in other words, I'm taking the Titans. In other words, I'm taking the Titans money line.
Slay, how much of that ice cold beer have you already had? You're not off the air yet, buddy.
He calls Aaron Rodgers the kickstand because he saw on tape that he was throwing off one foot.
Well, I mean, if he's going to call him the kickstand, what do we start to call Kirk Cousins, who didn't take one snap under center and looked like he needed somebody to have a mobility device back there to try and help him get out of the pocket against the Steelers. But, this game is interesting because I don't think we know exactly who the Jets are yet from an offensive standpoint. They showed flashes against the 49ers, but they weren't able to maintain any level of consistency. Their run defense was extremely vulnerable against Jordan Mason, but I don't see a scenario where the Titans get that same kind of push and are able to get Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard going on the offensive side. I do think Will Levis will have a little bit more time in the pocket, though. The Jets right now just can't generate much of a pass rush, so that's going to be a fascinating matchup to watch. If I had to get involved here, I would lean under the total. Right now it sits at 40.5. Whether or not, I'm just not sure either of these teams is poised to go out there and land a couple of big plays. But until further notice, Will Levis is on top secret probation from my betting standpoint. I'm not quite sure what that interception was. The way the Bears had moved the football, swallow it, take the sack, punt the football, and I think that final scoreline, not flattering to the Titans offense, and definitely not the defense that went out there and played with their hair on fire against Caleb Williams in his NFL debut.
I mean, Chicago wasn't moving the football. That's the play there, and your best bet would have won.
Yes, the best bet would have gotten home. Instead, there were all sorts of historical outliers from a standpoint. There were teams, I believe, in that situation that were 4-point dogs or more that had led by 17 points at any point in the game. Coming into last week, were 66-1-1 against the number. I think there were other trends there that, something along the lines of teams in that similar spot to the Bears that don't score an offensive touchdown, that trail by that, had won 3 games out of a sample size of more than 1,200. But that's why this business is so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what you do and how well you think you handicap a game, you still need a little bit of good fortune. But put me in that spot more often than not, and that ticket's going to cash 99% of the time.
Wow.
Damn it, Levis.
Hit us with something you like, Todd.
When I go through the board, some of these games have kind of been on the move, and let me see which numbers haven't moved too much. I think one of the more interesting games out there is UCF and TCU. Again, not going to advocate for laying it with UCF here, but the number has moved through 0 with good reason. I think this could be a game where KJ Jefferson shows out well, and UCF's defensive line could make a little bit of a difference. But I'll give you a game that no one's going to pay attention to in the Big Ten. A little bit of a sandwich spot for Illinois, and they're right around a 19 to 20-point favorite against Central Michigan. Illinois fortunate in the turnover department last week against Kansas. They have a short week before they take on Nebraska. This will be the largest number that Illinois has laid against an FBS opponent going all the way back to the 2019 season. Meanwhile, Central Michigan, things can't possibly get worse than finishing the game -6 in turnovers last week against FIU. This just feels like a game where Illinois sleepwalks. They try and get out of Dodge with a win, and this is a generous price tag. So I'll take the Central Michigan Chips, led by the former SEC head coach Jim McElwain, to get inside the number and take Illinois to the mat. Not to win outright, but to cover comfortably.
This is absolutely amazing. While you were talking about that game on FanDuel, it went to 18.5. While you were talking.
Sounds about right. They may be respecting Slay's bet. I don't know what he's doing right there on the app, so I can't.
I'm pushing that up to 19.5.
Yeah, because that's a key number, Slay. It's really going to make a mathematical difference for all those football games that land directly on 19.
Hey,
Good job, Fuhrman.
I will be sending you my bet slip, dog. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. Trust me, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see which numbers you moved and how irrelevant some of those line moves are. But I'm also going to question some of the tutors that you had in the athletic program while you were an athlete down there at Tennessee, talking about margin of victory in NFL games and the importance of key numbers.
Yeah, that tutor, he's not there anymore.
Yeah, he got in trouble.
I'm not kidding.
Seriously, what was his name?
Ron Payne.
Ron Payne. Yeah, he's gone.
But,
Figured him out.
do we know what Rob Payne's doing now at this point? Hopefully he's listening to this segment, actually.
I know another guy by Payne. They probably related.
He walks around Knoxville.
Always a distinct possibility. Hopefully he wore his sunglasses inside at night, much like another Payne that we know all too well.
Payne Insider. All right. Bet the Board podcast. Get it. The NFL pod will be out tomorrow, so get it early. Get that best bet early so you can get the number. Later, Todd.
Always a pleasure, guys. Enjoy the games this weekend.
All right. More from Twin Peaks next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. If you've been thinking about that next new ride, check out my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned. Car, truck, SUV, or Jeep. Maybe you need a Sprinter van. Whatever you need, Ram truck. Whatever you need, they've got you covered. Just tell them what you're looking for. Maybe you need more room. Maybe you need something better gas mileage. Maybe you need something more cost-effective. They'll be able to help you out. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership information is there. All the phone number, address, inventory, all the deals they have going on. GuptonMotors.com. Check them out. 3450 Tom Austin Highway, Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
What's happening, good people? Ron Slay coming to you with Kellum Stem Cell Institute. You feeling that little pain in your knee? Yep, you can do something about it. Your body, your cells, your solution. Get your stem cells harvested. I'm telling you right now, with this therapy, they will be stored away as well for future use. But I'm telling you this because I've done it. No need for me to just go out on a whim and be like, you know what? I wonder could it happen. I wonder could it do. Nope, I'm telling you, this is factual. I've been through the process of it, man. Did it with my knee, did it with my hip, also my shoulder. And listen, when you get the therapy done and you need to go back and talk to them, this isn't a one-time thing, man. You can go back and tell them, you know, I'm feeling still a little ache right there. Get that taken care of as well. All you got to do is call and set your consultation up today at 615-850-4415. That is 615-850-4415. Dr. Kellum's staff is great. As soon as you walk in, you feel the welcoming, and they get you anything you need. Once you sit down with Dr. Kellum, you ask him anything that he may need, and I promise you, it will take care of it. All you got to do is go to KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Western Kentucky at MTSU. 100 miles of hate. That's what's going on Saturday. Western Kentucky is 7.5-point favorite. 6 o'clock on ESPN+.
I feel like some of these rivalry games are earlier than normal.
I agree with you.
I love it.
Oregon and Oregon State. Iowa and Iowa State played last week. So we are seeing some of those things. Austin Peay at Central Arkansas. Austin Peay at 0-2. They lost 62-0 to Louisville, and then 31-17 to SIU. That's at 6 o'clock on ESPN+. Arkansas Pine Bluff at TSU. TSU at 1-1. They beat Mississippi Valley State 41-21. They were a 19-point favorite in that game. Isn't it funny how you remember point spreads?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, last week was go play the game and come home. You know what I mean? Like
Colorado State, they don't play.
North Dakota.
North Dakota
State, 52-3, the final. So TSU back at home, Arkansas Pine Bluff. The only game featuring top 25 matchup, 2 top 25 teams, is Arizona, number 20 in the country, at number 14, Kansas State. Kansas State, a 7.5-point favorite, 7 o'clock on Fox. Jets and Titans coming up on Sunday. You catch all the action right here on 104.5 The Zone. Coverage begins at 9 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone. Guess what else begins at 9 a.m.?
When?
On Sunday.
What?
You.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
See Wiz.
Titans VIP tailgate, baby, is back. It's going down. You ain't got a lot of play. I did forget. Y'all ain't got a lot of places to go.
You coming from Knoxville? A Knoxville night game?
Yep, I will be.
Oh, boy.
And I got to be there early, so I'm be.
You going to roll straight in?
You better know it. Straight to it. I have my Big Jeff jersey. Since they wearing all white, I'm wearing all white. I'll be ready to roll. Get to the Bridge building. Y'all got to understand, a lot of construction going on. They're building the new stadium. So if you don't have your usual tailgate spot, I got a place for you. Just come on to the Bridge building. You don't have to get it ahead of time. You can get the tickets at the door with the QR code. So bring the family. Auctions there. Celebrity bartender. What else we got?
Oh, yeah. He makes like fancy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a smoking old fashioned.
Oh, it's dope.
Oh, smoked old fashions are so good.
It was very cool.
You got the silent auction going on the first floor.
Yeah.
Food on the first floor.
Yeah.
Second floor is different food. Xbox station, PS5 station on the third floor for the kids, so they can stay out your hair. And then on the fourth floor, that's the place where the car ain't got no roof. The building has no roof. Me and
Is that where you hang out?
That's where I stay. I stay. I have to stay there because that's the only place that can hold me.
I've got a University of Tennessee football stat for you
when
we come back.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. Talking Titans, NFL, college football, SEC, whatever you want to get into. We are here for you. Also, Babs has tickets to give away to Weezer. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. So stay tuned. 3HL broadcasting live from Twin Peaks in Rivergate. We'll be here until 6 o'clock, where the beer is 28.2 degrees on draft. We'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Outdoor lighting perspectives of Nashville. What is the outdoor lighting perspective difference? Well, I can tell you because I'm a customer and they made my backyard and my driveway and my deck and everything look amazing. Over 25 years of experience, the largest professional landscape lighting company in North America as a whole. And Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville has been around for over 38 years here in town, making homes stunning with landscape lighting. And they can do everything. Light up your night with festival lights or path lights or wall washing, tree lighting, area lighting. They'll do maintenance on your current system, and they will design, install, and then maintain a new system if you have one put in. Also do full service holiday and event lighting and commercial lighting. If you're interested in that holiday lighting, go ahead and call them now or go online now, NashvilleChristmasLights.com, so you can get on their list. Otherwise, if you want some beautiful landscape lighting, they'll do a free nighttime design demonstration. Call Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville, 615-373-LIGHT, L-I-T-E, or go visit them online, outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
Fellas, if you're often feeling a little tired, you're lacking motivation and drive, you're gaining weight, and you just can't get out of the bed, you're like, man, I'm feeling a little groggy, I got something for you. Get to Low T Center. Get over there, get your levels checked, and get your results back in 25 minutes or less. Now, get your T levels checked. All of this right there in the convenience of their lab. It's right there on deck. Low T Center, your BMI and health can also be evaluated. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Good evening. It is 5:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Twin Peaks out here in Madison. The Titans were back on the practice field today as they turned their attention to the Jets for the home opener on Sunday. Jamal Adams returned to the practice field after missing all of last week and told reporters that he's ready to go for Sunday's game versus his former team. Will Levis met with the media today and was asked about the team's mindset moving on from the Bears loss to facing the Jets on Sunday.
I think it's just staying positive. I think that's definitely something that we all need to remind ourselves with. It's easy to kind of groan and get down and complain after a tough game like that, but I've been really impressed with how the guys have come into the building the last couple of days, flushed it, instilling confidence in me, letting them know that they still got my back, which is great to feel and hear as a quarterback, especially after, the tough end of that game.
In NFL news, Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers said that he will be ready to go when asked about his availability for Week 2. And then Tennessee football news, running back Cam Seldon and freshman wide receivers Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley are expected to return versus Kent State on Saturday night. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from Twin Peaks at Rivergate. We will be here until 6 o'clock. Eggy Bob's got stuff for you. You can hit the QR code for your chance to win Creed 3 Doors Down tickets. Scott Stapp, the lead singer of Creed, lives here, by the way. And 3 Doors Down, I think some, if not all of them, live here as well. Post Malone tickets. Eggy Bob's got koozies. He's got Oiler pennants. Just stop by.
Yeah, come see us. Come say hi. And the food's really good, by the way. I just had a steak salad.
Really
That's
good.
my go-to.
I'll have a
Yummy.
steak salad and another steak salad, please.
It was yummy.
I mean, Slade said the broccoli was so good he's going to get 3 orders to take home.
I know. He just told her, our waitress, he said, hey, I'm going to order some more broccoli before we leave. He's trying to be healthy.
You're all over the board with the healthy stuff and the non-healthy stuff. And the sauce
he don't know if
and
he's coming or going.
All I know is I
cookie
need to
thing
maintain the weight. That's all.
Maintain.
You guys are doing
Maintenance.
That means I'm in maintenance.
Maintenance is a problem when you like sweets. Me. I'm giving away tickets. Can I do it real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a Winning Wednesday. Babs Prize Closet is wide open. Winning Wednesday on 3HL. And the tickets for you to win from Babs Prize Closet today are 2 tickets to see Weezer next Tuesday at Bridgestone Arena, 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 to read right now. Good luck to you. Boom.
Better get it. Better get some.
Babs Prize Closet.
Absolutely. That's becoming a thing now.
I like it.
We just invented a word.
I like it.
We do that quite often.
Yes,
we
we
don't
do.
have bad grammar on this show. We just invent things.
Oh, we do have. No, we have poor grammar.
Speak for
We do.
yourself.
Numerous times throughout
Are you
the
saying
show.
we need a hard brace? Remember those in English class?
No.
The hard brace book? Oh, yeah. They correct your paper, and they would go go to page 58 in the hard brace book, item number 4.
I never had that. Did you, Slay?
No.
I took a bunch of English.
See, that's what happens when you go to like some fancy school, Mayor.
Yeah, University of Tennessee.
Oh, I thought you were talking about high school.
I definitely have
Hillsborough.
college. Oh,
No, before that.
Hume Fog?
Yes.
Yeah, we had hard brace there, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, by college, you should know it.
Right. I
Should
took
be
a-
getting page 59 in that book in college.
I took a bunch of English. This is going to surprise a lot of people. I took a bunch of English classes in college because I met John Ward one time and asked him for some advice. He said, take as many English classes as you can.
Really?
Take as many classes where you have to write as you can. And so I
Oh,
did.
Great idea.
And so then I went over the political science department, took a bunch of political science. International relations. That was me, man.
Oh,
Can you imagine? Let me go internationally relate.
No.
No.
I can't.
I'm straight.
I'll solve all the world's problems.
Catch me in the rec center.
Hyper. Do they still call it
Or
Hyper?
Thornton. Yeah, I think. Zep, they still call it Hyper?
At Tennessee? Where you
still
go
call it
like
rec
play
center
basketball
Hyper?
and stuff?
Say that one more time.
Is the Hyper building still there?
Yes, it is. I had a couple classes in there.
There we go.
I had my basketball class in there.
I'll tell you this, man.
They got a new rec center a little down about aquatic center now.
You go in there in the summer, and dude, like the Lady Vols would be in there running games, and like they wouldn't let you play against them if you, number one, if you wouldn't compete because they're going to back you down. Like they're physical, or they were.
So you telling me they used to drag you is what you're saying?
I mean, people you haven't even heard of, Von DeWard and all these people.
Yeah,
man, it was something. Yeah, tomorrow I should point this out.
Talk to us.
Tomorrow we will be at Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Juliet.
Yes,
All right?
in the Mount.
We've got 3 pair of Titans Jets tickets to give away, 1 pair each hour. A Titans long sleeve shirt that I was told was a double X. So, like, if you're of the bigger variety, you can win that, like me. A bottle of wine from the Foolish Club.
If you're in the love your wine category, you can win that, like me.
And right before the end of the show, we're going to give away a Jeffrey Simmons autographed helmet.
That's fun.
Which leads us to a tweet that we all just received from one Keith Bullock.
Mr. Monday Night himself.
At K-Bull53.
He about to come up, but he got a show coming up. He ought to be prepping for his show instead of talking to me.
He included all of us. 3HL, Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, TN, and the Ron Slay. I know Slay didn't just say he will be in his Jeffrey Simmons jersey on Sunday for the home opener. He better put on that all-white Traylon Burks jersey and represent his guy. It's too early to jump. Ride it out, big fella. I don't think he caught on to what you don't have.
He's calling you out.
You don't have a white Traylon Burks jersey.
No, what he's saying is you should have one if that's your guy.
Oh.
Why don't you?
Because I bought 4 jerseys. I bought Derrick Henry, the Oilers blue.
I was there when you did all this.
I bought a blue one, Kevin Byard. I bought a blue one, Traylon Burks. And I brought an all-white one, Big Jeff.
That one's safe.
I can't wear. What you mean? I got 2 safe. Traylon Burks and Big Jeff.
Okay.
I know this is my thing. This is what I want to get out. Because Buck just keeps on going with this, and I think it's to pick at me.
And he was wrong if you're going down the path that I think you're going down.
Absolutely wrong. He said the reverses do not work with Traylon Burks. He can't turn the corner.
He's not fast enough to turn the corner.
What Buck Rising needs to do, and y'all need to get on him, listeners, especially the zone listeners. Get on him. I think he may be on A to Z sometime tonight. Get on him. I mean, get on him about this.
What other listeners do you want to get on him?
That's the only ones I know.
92Q or?
Yeah, hell yeah. They're in our building too.
103.3.
WTTN or TN. Get them on them too. They ain't got nothing to worry about right now. This is the thing.
They're not busy over there.
Why would they be busy? That was over last night. This is what I'm telling you. If Buck went back and watched the film, he would get on Tyler Boyd.
Yep.
And tell him, you need to throw the block so Traylon can turn the corner and not get hit in the backfield. Also like Derrick Henry, who couldn't get his little legs going because he's getting hit in the backfield. If you do your job, everybody do your job. That's why I came out Monday and said it's execution from the receivers all the way down to the center. Everybody must do their job. They do their job. Traylon Burks turns that corner. He got a lineman, Chig, and a receiver out there blocking for him. All he has to do is make the safety miss, who was 10 yards downfield trying to close on him. So, Buck, quit going for low-hanging fruit, dog. Everybody's going to listen to your show regardless. You ain't got to do that.
That play was they didn't get the edge blocked with Boyd. If you go watch the,
that's all you got to do is watch the film.
You don't even need to watch the all-22. You
can watch the film.
You can see it.
All you got to do is watch the film.
If they get the edge block, there's 2 blockers in front of him going toward in space down the field to 2 other guys that he could have scored.
Like, and that my thing is, like, if you're going to point out something, if you're going to point out everything and nitpick it on everybody. That's what I'm saying. Calvin really didn't block on no screen either for the running back that got it out there. Like, let's get on everybody. That's what I'm telling y'all. And hell yeah, I'm repping my guy Traylon Burks, Bully. You know that. And you the problem, Bully. You the problem. See,
Lord.
you the reason that Bully is the
Mr.
reason
Monday
the Titans
Night.
lost, man. Because me and Bully supposed to be together on away games every single time. Our Stogies are supposed to be lit up. And me or Bully didn't reach out to each other, but I'm going to put it on Bully. Bully, you the reason,
it's your
Bully.
fault, too.
Yeah, no, Bully is the Titan, though. I'm an honorary Titan. So he's the leader of the team. He's the captain of the Titans and Bully team. So
you're putting everything on Bully.
Yeah.
Take that, 5-3.
That's right, Bully. Yeah. You get ready to do your show, dog. Know this show come on tonight? Titan Talk Back?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
Titans
I'm calling
tonight.
Here we
in.
go.
I'm calling in tonight. What'd you say?
Titans tonight.
It's right after us.
Yeah, it's right after. Bully, I'm calling in, and I want answers.
Hey. Do you want to hear my Tennessee stat?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That I teased? Where you went nuts. Tennessee hosts Kent State on Saturday. We all know that. Kent State, in the power rankings, ranked powerless, the worst ranked team according to FPI in America. At Neyland Stadium, 6:30. Slay says that rain will be done. So, weatherman Slay got you.
Yeah, it's supposed to let up at about 7.
You can catch the game live here on 104.5 The Zone. The Vols reached 50 points one time last season. Through 2 games, they've reached 50 points or more both times.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 times this year through 2 games. Only 1 time did they go 50 points or more last year. The last time Tennessee scored 50 or more points in 3 consecutive games. You okay over there?
Yep. Was.
The last time Tennessee scored 50 or more points in 3 consecutive games was 1913.
Wow.
Wow. Golly.
And they're going to do it.
You got to set a record. So you take the 49, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take it too.
That's high.
That's a lot of. That's
of
half a
points.
century.
You're high.
I mean, no. Your starters are done by half.
You're out of order.
Right. The good thing is, though, you got some guys offensively that want to score. Mike Matthews.
I mean, when they scored
Caleb
when they scored 69 a couple weeks ago, the starters were done.
Yeah, that was done in the first half.
Boy, and they were rotating
Cam
wholesale.
Seldon to be back. Peyton Lewis, we want to see him. Like, there's some guys you want to see offensively.
Defensively, though, in the opener, they were rotating guys in the second series, like third string guys.
Do you do that this week too to get ready for Oklahoma, or you let them go a little further?
All right, Knoxville, Sunday. Nope, game Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday.
High temperature of 81.
It's the high. Game
Showers
time, though.
early, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day. High of 82, winds light and variable. Chance of rain 40%.
Yeah, at game time though, I think it's supposed to be 73. That could change.
Everything can change.
Oh, I've done my homework because I'm out there tailgating. You know, I'm about to get to it.
Like, you gonna start tailgating now?
No, not right now. When I get up there.
All right, 615-737-1045 is the number at 3HL1045 on X. Zeph has us on TikTok. You can see ridiculous videos there, like Dawn getting measured and Slay going on a rant yesterday. It was like
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
On Twitter,
I told him it was like a serial killer rant because it was like quiet and calm.
he said
Those are the ones you got to worry
He
about.
said basically, don't let Tennessee win this football national championship or the world as you know it will be over.
No, Earth.
Earth, yeah, the
Earth,
whole,
Not world,
not just
just
the
Earth.
world, just the whole Earth.
On Twitter, it was at 72,000 views last time I looked. What you got on?
There's a lot of hate for you out there too. You got Alabama fans jumping in and Kentucky fans. jumping in.
What is Alabama fan going to do if Tennessee were to beat Alabama again this year? And
2
Alabama
years in a row?
No,
Oof.
2 out of 3.
Yeah,
Alabama won last year.
We won the first half.
That's right. God.
But can you imagine if Alabama loses 2 out of 3 to Tennessee?
Oh yeah,
What will that fan base
They
do?
won't be at the standards. They'll probably break out in halves.
What you got?
Slay's rant on TikTok at 3HL1045 The Zone. If you don't follow us, go follow us. Has 40,000 views, 4,600 likes, 145 comments, 369 bookmarks, and has garnered us over 400 new followers.
Thank you guys.
And it was like a low key rant.
Yeah, we love you guys.
It wasn't a rant. I don't
No,
think
it
you can call
wasn't
it a
even
rant.
It was just.
I told you it was like a.
Kind
it
of like
was
a matter
psycho.
of fact. Yeah, it was a little matter of fact. Psycho.
It was kind of crazy.
Reed says he has it.
Psychotic.
Do
We
we
got to
want to
take
play
a
it?
break.
Nah, we're going to 20.
Jeez.
We're already late, Babs. Reed, you want to play it? Tennessee started the season with an ESPN FPI chance to make the playoffs 36.9%. It is now at 65.3% after outscoring their first 2 opponents 120-13. Tennessee, the projected win and losses is now at 10-2. Chance to win the conference 9.1%. Make the national championship game 14%.
Yeah.
Win the national championship 6.8%.
If y'all have ever seen Earth and loved it, don't let them win this national championship this year.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
You saying Tennessee fans going to tear stuff up?
Oh, it's over for this Earth.
Like burning mattresses?
No,
and-
like explode.
They're going to find a way to get to the core?
Man, everybody.
Just light a match?
Dude, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you what. Listen. I'm telling you what God love. That's the truth. You want to remain on this earth, living in the fashion that you living. Don't let Tennessee win this national championship in no football. Don't. I'm telling you right now. You don't let it happen in basketball. Everything be like we're gonna go crazy, but everything will be cool. Don't let Tennessee win no national championship in no football. The earth as you know it, no more. Good night.
Good
I'm
night.
telling you, I know it. I know it.
I mean, he might not be wrong.
I am telling you.
Good night.
I'm
Good
telling
night.
you, it's over, man. Like it's. I mean, it's kind of as simple as that. It's one of them.
It is one of the most passionate fan bases
Oh,
ever.
and starving.
Ever.
I
Starving for that.
had a Vandy fan jump in the comments and say I forgot what he said. It was something, and then one of the Vols who was witty came back and said, "Well, at least he's won one in his lifetime." I was like, "Dang, that kind of hurts." You know what I mean? Like won a national championship. They did in '98. So it's not like that was just that's the precursor to this right here. We had to go through the depths of hell. Get out of the ashes, shake them off, let the little dust fall everywhere, and then get cleaned up. Thank you, Danny White. Get Hyper in there. Now we are marching on our way.
Where were you in 98?
At the Tennessee-Florida game, trying to jump over the wall, and Coach Smith wouldn't let me, made me go back to Oak Hill.
Were you at Tennessee already?
I was at Oak Hill. We went down.
You were still in high school.
We went down.
Okay.
We came down with a team visit. That was
Yep.
my senior year.
Oh, that's a heck of a team
No,
visit.
that was '99.
Okay.
Was it '98? It was '98. Yeah, national championship year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You tried to jump over the wall?
Yeah. As soon as that kick missed and I saw them students go out there, I thought that was like a sign for me to go out there. I'm going to be a student here, so I should act like these students are acting. Jump over the wall.
Did that game convince you to go to Tennessee?
Yeah, I was already kind of convinced. That stamped it. That stamped it. That was unbelievable. I had
That
never
just
seen
shows
nothing
you
like
how
that.
powerful football is.
It is. And that's what I'm saying.
For a basketball guy to make a decision
You
to
feel
go
me?
somewhere because of a
and
football game.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like basketball, listen, we're gonna lose our mind. Like baseball, we lost our mind a little bit.
Right.
Basketball, we gonna go crazy. We're gonna feel like we're here. Football, man, listen, man.
Good night.
Yeah, party over. Turn your lights out.
Just throw everything in the Tennessee.
Man, it's me. Throw me in there. Like
You don't want that.
No, yes, I do. I won't be contaminated.
Can I poke at this Vandy fan for a second?
Absolutely.
Because
Oh, boy.
after he said that, someone says, but it has happened, like you said, and he goes, in a sport that UT fans care zero about, I'm talking about football. Sir, it has happened in Ronce's lifetime
got-
in 1998.
There's so many people that
Maybe he just thought you were so young.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah. I was born in '99.
I thought Vandy was supposed to be smart. I thought they were supposed to be a smart school.
Yeah, they're gonna come after you.
They're coming after
Better be
you
ready.
for sure.
At JM Bonanno 13 on
Here's
Twitter.
a question. Here's the question. How many people were sitting there in the fourth quarter of that Florida State game, Tennessee about to win a national title? How many people said these words? I don't care if they ever win another one. Just get this one.
I didn't.
I didn't either, but you know that happened.
Yeah, without question. I think every fan base does that.
Yeah.
Like, except the sport ones.
You said, I want to be contaminated.
You sport.
Not lately.
Yeah, not lately, but yeah.
We're on the Tennessee path there.
Props to
but
a
now we're
local-
coming back up, hopefully quicker than you guys did.
Y'all are recruiting well. I know that.
Yes, Hugh is.
And they're about
War Eagle.
to turn a Notre Dame quarterback, I saw.
Yep, that's happening.
Just got to get the Brinks truck, which they will. When we come back, a local player in the NFL that we need to talk about. Next, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Up, good people. Listen, it's time. It's time, man. You getting out there on the road, you getting to the tailgates, you need the generator to be rolling for you where you never lose power again. Or you're sitting at home and you're like, man, them storms coming through, them hurricanes getting busy down there on the coast. Man, our power may go out. You could have Generator Dave right there on speed dial and get you a Generac automatic standby generator, Babsy.
Yes, don't let your freezer go bad. Don't get caught in the dark. Don't let your family and your dogs freak out. Make sure that you go ahead and take care of it before this winter and storm season gets here. And you can do it with Generator Dave at Cove Generators, with also on top of it a new 7-year warranty upgrade over $1,000 value for free. They'll take care of you. Get a Generac automatic standby generator from Cove Generators. Call them at 931-559-3311. Cove, C-O-V-E, generators.com.
Stay connected through it all. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Tom Miller got it. Sedated, not contaminated. It's a Ramon song. I want to be sedated. Anyway, he got it. Way to go. Slay does want to be contaminated. You don't want to be sedated. But he got the song that I was referencing. So I just wanted to point that out. It's the greatest time of year. Kickoff is here. Football officially back. You need to download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing now. I'm all in. It's so much fun. Makes watching games that much better, and it's easy to do. More than 1 million people across 33 states got in the game last year by competing on Underdog. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower. The more options you choose, the higher your times you can add to your money. On your favorite player stats, touchdowns, passing yards, for example. You can go into baseball, total bases, home runs, all those things. Making picks on Underdog straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code 3HL, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first Cash Champions entry. Plus, up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code 3HL to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from Twin Peaks.
Can you hear me? Can you feel me? We're going to be all right.
In Rivergate.
From the face up.
I'm trying to find my notes.
That will be the
Here we go.
Super Bowl performer right there. K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar, man, in New Orleans is going down.
Oh, really?
I'm going to make sure that I'm at that interview, too. Miss Rihanna.
Is it just him?
Yeah, but he may announce some people that's coming on with him, but for now.
For those that don't know,
he's the headliner.
We go to the Super Bowl. We cover it all week, and they have the halftime show press conference, and we go to them. Like we saw Mary J. and Snoop and
Dr. Dre.
And Dr. Dre.
Snoop and Dre were great.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yep.
But you will never forgetting Rihanna.
That was dumb. That was so dumb.
I don't know if we can say forget.
We did forget.
No, we actually forgot.
Yeah, we forgot.
We were in our work.
Yep.
And we're like, crap, when was the halftime show press conference? And it already happened.
But we did get our work done.
Yes.
I'll tell you this, when Beyonce did it, it was when people were questioning, like, her actually singing or whatever. So she started the press conference by singing the Star Spangled Banner. And I was like,
I love that.
I was blown away.
What a flex, huh?
Yeah,
acapella.
Yeah.
I mean, no music.
She got a voice, man.
In a press conference.
She's serious.
And then you know what she did? She walked through Radio Row.
Did she?
Beyonce did.
Wow. This was
They
what,
never
13?
do that.
They never do that.
Never do that.
2013, I think.
I don't know.
Getting ready for New Orleans.
Madonna was the other one. I was ready to ask her a question because Tim Tebow was there, so I was going to ask some kind of question. I wasn't exactly sure what was going to come out of my mouth. And, man, they called on the guy right next to me. And it was like the Entertainment Tonight people were, like, hosting it. And I'm like, man, if they call on me, I was like, I don't get nervous. I got nervous interviewing Don Mattingly when I first started in the business. Yeah. And God love him because I'm standing in front of him with a microphone and my arm is shaking. I mean, and he was so great. Like, of course he saw it. But anyway, I was nervous that day because I was about to make a fool out of myself.
I feel you.
You know what I saw today?
What?
She's 66 years old, Madonna.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Makes me feel old.
Or younger. You ain't 66.
That's true. That is true.
She is great.
Just totally eternalize somebody else's age.
Dang.
If you feel old, how do you think Madonna feels?
Like, damn, she's old.
I remember.
How do you think Madonna feels?
I remember we went to dinner for my mom's birthday, and my grandparents were still living at the time, and we loved to go to Kobe Steaks over by Parthenon, and we're at dinner. My mom's complaining about her age, like, I'm getting really old, blah, blah, blah. And my grandmother let her finish and looked at her and goes, how do you think I feel?
That was good.
You're my daughter. How do you think I feel?
Yeah.
We need to point this out. So San Francisco ran the ball 38 times for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason had 28 carries. They did it without the number one player in fantasy football, the number one offensive threat.
And the number one, the offensive player of the year.
Jordan Mason, 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. He played at Georgia Tech. Never had a 1,000-yard season there. Goes to the NFL, gets the start, goes for 147 against the Jets defense.
He ran that rock hard, too, boy.
Gallatin guy.
Gallatin's all-time leading rusher,
Nice.
Jordan Mason.
I love that.
That's dope, man.
I did the game on my TV 30 when he broke the record.
You remember it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What's up?
So shame on us for waiting until Wednesday to call him out, but good job.
I called him out in our text chain.
You sure did?
You did.
Good job, Babs.
It's not your fault, Babs. It's mine.
Okay.
Do y'all want to hear from Will Levis? Because I think some of the 3HL family might have missed it because it was at the beginning of the show. He met with the media, and we played like the last – this is how we had to do it. We played like the last 12 minutes of his press conference, but he had already been up there for 4 minutes. So we went back and played the first 4 minutes later. So it was like Pulp Fiction. Like we did it out of order.
It was all key, though, to what was going – why you had the feelings that you do.
So there was a lot of people talking about and having problems with Levis saying he didn't lose sleep on Sunday. Well, there was more to that,
right?
Obviously. And Will Levis talked about not losing sleep because of the Bears game. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming to work the same way I have every day, regardless of what happens the day before. And that's been the MO since day one. I feel like it's also a part of my game that I've improved on a lot in my career. There have been times where a game like that would have lingered for days, weeks, and really just kept getting to me. But I didn't lose sleep Sunday night. You know, I knew that I'm a good quarterback in this league, and obviously a lot of things to get better on. But watching that tape, I still have that confidence and knowing that it's just kind of a fluke play that I can definitely learn from. So, I've still got all the confidence in the world in this team and everything. Just got to come to work every day the same way, regardless of what happens.
I don't know about the fluke play comment, but
Yeah, that one was good. I mean, he talked about the first one where he flipped it up, and he said, "I've never done that in my life," and then he did it again later.
yeah, because it worked.
Did y'all see Bill Belichick talking about that? He said he talked with Tom Brady about it, and they were like, it's a risk-reward thing. You either eat it and take the sack, or you flip it out there. What's the best possible thing that can happen? You get like a 2-yard play?
I wish
maybe.
we had that Belichick.
We had it yesterday, but I forgot.
Reed said he got it. If you give him a second. That was just us, huh?
Yep.
You always do that.
I do that every time.
Every time.
I did it on SEC Network too. Like, when they talk to me, I'll be like, "Dog, what?" Because we'll be watching the highlights, and
he's out of control.
J Mac will be in there. Yo, boy, he'll be in there, Jonathan, and be like, "Man, dude, that is a hell," because he's hearing me talking. He's like, "That's a hell of a move right there." I'd be like, "Boy, that show is." And everybody like, "Dude, what are you talking about?"
It's just in your head. Exactly.
Like,
yep.
Y'all leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
I got voices in my head.
Yeah, everybody leave me alone. I'll be fine.
Oh boy.
Oh, Reed has the Belichick comments here.
Have to lose yardage, and then if you can make a play, but don't make a play, make a bad play. So that's the one that always got me when the players said, "Well, I was trying to make a play." I was like, "Well, how about try to make a good one then?" Make a bad play. So like the play that Levis had, where he gets out of the pocket, he flips the ball, underhand, backhand, whatever it was, and that's just. Even if you hit it, what do you really have? Not much. And then if you don't hit it, then, you lose the game. So it's just, there's no upside to that play. There's only downside. And, it's just, that's just a terrible decision. And Tom and I have talked a million times about, if you complete this pass, what's the upside? You gain 1 yard, you gain 2 yards. All right, you guys going to get tackled anyway. Like the play we just saw in Tennessee. I mean, what if he had completed that? What's the upside? 2 yards? What's the downside? Lose the game. You just can't make those kind of decisions. And even if that ball had been complete, there's no upside to it. And so, Tom did a great job of, risk management and, cut his losses. And so, rather than turn the ball over, all right, you lose a couple of yards and you get sacked, but at least we can gain our field position back by punting on third down.
I mean, go figure Bill Belichick making sense.
Right.
About football.
I mean, what's the best that can happen? You get a yard or two. What's the worst? You lose the game. Weigh your options.
Yeah, that's not good.
When we come back,
that's why that was not a fluke play.
Yeah.
When we come back, you'll hear more from Will Levis next as we continue to broadcast live from Twin Peaks and Rivergate. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? Way more than you would think. I actually went home and counted how many connected devices we own, and it's like more than a dozen, easily. All to keep all of us connected to the good stuff, streaming, my stepson's gaming, all the interneting, online shopping, you name it, right? Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. That is why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, for real. Now through September 22nd, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Plus, you can get free Wi-Fi equipment included. How about that? Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it, and then some. Switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra after promo regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Fellas, if you're often feeling a little tired, you're lacking motivation and drive, you're gaining weight, and you just can't get out of the bed, you're like, man, I'm feeling a little groggy, I got something for you. Get the Low T Center. Get over there, get your levels checked, and get your results back in 25 minutes or less. Now, get your T levels checked. All of this right there in the convenience of their lab. It's right there on deck. Low T Center, your BMI and health can also be evaluated. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay.
Hey.
One of the best newsmen in the history of this city, Buddy Sadler,
Buddy!
is here. And
think he can hear us.
He just had to show his ID.
That's real. Buddy had to show his ID. You got to test you, buddy. You got to make sure you are who you are.
I mean, he's only been in radio for...
You're above age, brother.
You're supposed to say, don't you know who I am?
Take a mic over there. Take a mic over there. Zeph, this is Buddy Sadler. And if Nashville had... Here we go, buddy. He's putting headphones on and everything.
Your buddy getting ready to go, baby.
I came to see the you guys.
That's good enough right there, buddy.
He was going to say Slay.
Yeah. Listen to that voice. What is the biggest news story you covered, do you think? And how many years did you work in radio?
I'm still working 1 day a week.
It counts. Hell yeah.
59 years.
Wow.
Look at that.
But it's fun. It beats working for a living.
Right. I tell that to people all the time. Do you have a story that sticks out to you?
Several of them. Some I can't tell.
Those are the good ones.
Covering the governor's trial when Ray Blanton was in.
Ray Blanton. So we were talking about that movie, Marie, which was filmed here,
Right.
which was about that whole thing.
Yeah, Marie kind of spilled the beans.
Yep, she did.
All of it was true, but the trial wasn't that much fun. 6 weeks in the courtroom. 6 weeks in the courtroom was not that much fun.
Right.
Were you around for Marsha Trimble?
No, but I knew her daddy. Her dad and I were in the Air Guard together.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I knew him, knew them, knew the family. And they took him along. Hey, this works better here. You'd think I'd know how to hold one after all these years.
Well, it's always good to see you, my friend, and yeah, I'm glad that you chose to come out to see us.
Well, you're in my neighborhood. Anytime
At
y'all are
Twin Peaks.
around, I come out and see you. It's,
Love that, buddy.
working with Jerry House was probably the most fun I've had. And watching you guys, y'all are my second favorites.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Jerry is the best. When he wrote his book, he had I think, can I say this? He had a 7-year non-compete. But when he wrote his book, they allowed him to come on 3HL. And Clay Travis and Blaine Bishop were doing the show at that time, and they weren't really aware of him. And I just said, trust me. And he came in, and when he left, he did an hour with us. And when he left, Clay and Blaine were both like, that might be the most talented guy I've ever been around.
Oh, he was. He came in the mornings ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Had his bits all planned. And a telephone call from anybody could change him which direction he was going.
Yep. And I used to fill in for Duncan doing sports
I did
on
too.
that show. Yeah, and I was told that he hated hole-in-one stories, so I saw a grandma gets a hole-in-one story, and so he would read the newspaper because he was looking for stuff to keep going. And so he was reading his newspaper and his head's in it, and when I mentioned that story, he just looked at me and he was like, no, stop.
I was so nervous, even though I had years in the
So
business.
nervous. Me too.
Working with him, and I told the time wrong. It was supposed to be 5:10. And I said, time is 5:10. He said, no. I said, okay. What is it? 5:10. Can I do it again? No.
No.
Buddy, always good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. Good to
Thanks,
see you
buddy.
guys.
Buddy.
There he is, Buddy Sadler, legend in this town. You got any parlays coming up for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or Friday? For the weekend?
Do I got any parlays coming up?
Have you
Football
already,
back?
Have you already hit them?
No, not yet.
Okay.
This will be tonight while I'm watching the VMAs with a cigar and a little cup of bourbon.
There you go. You can tell us then. But maybe tomorrow we do kind of like a matchup session of the show for the Titans. Like
Yeah, I like that.
Titans, whatever, defensive line.
Versus, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I really think that what's going to stand out to me, and I've been
what
saying
you like the best.
Yeah, and what I like as far as matchups go, those tackles. Listen. I
Right.
know the name wise, resume wise, the tackles are legit for New York Jets.
They have
But
3 new offensive linemen. They're still trying to gel.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you had trouble with Bosa and Leonard Floyd, I expect Harold Landry and whoever's added with him, Big Jeff, whether he's on the edge, Arden Key, Jalen Harrell could be one that you could.
yep.
Like, it's going to be some bodies. I attack them guys, man. Especially, the reason I'm saying that is because you know what you're going to get on the interior.
And that defense is only going to get more and more confident
Absolutely.
as this season goes on. And Denard Wilson is only going to get more and more confident in his play calling and what he's doing and what he has out there. I'm not going to lie. I'm super excited about this Titans defense.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way, but all right, Jeff, just blowing through the camera. I think you're going to see a cleaner operation from the offense all the way around, from Callahan to the players and everything.
You better.
Yeah. Think the screen game works with the Jets D getting up the field?
Yes. But they do have some corners and safeties that do like to hit. Excuse me.
That broccoli getting you.
I don't know what's going on.
Broccoli will get you.
It will get me.
Yeah.
And they get me down in the maintenance program.
We are at Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow in Mount Juliet. Again, giveaways, 3 pair of Titans tickets, 1 each hour. So come by, get your name in the box.
Put your name in the box.
Titans long sleeve shirt, bottle of wine from the Foolish Club, and a Jeffrey Simmons autographed helmet. So, see Eggy Bob at the front door and get your name in the box.
Put your name in the box.
That's right.
Babs has got all this dancing stuff going.
We're ready because Baby Babs is in her head and she got to go get
Baby Babs is at dance.
Yeah, so she's dancing.
She has 3 hours of dance a night. What are we doing here? She's 4. Good thing she likes it.
Titans tonight coming up next. Bully, starring Bully, and happy birthday, Vaught.
Show wheels, happy birthday, Vaught.
Oh, yay!
The VOTT.
Our thanks to the great people at Twin Peaks and Rivergate for having us out here with the cold beer. Again, Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Juliet tomorrow. Make plans to be there. Love y'all. We certainly appreciate you including us in your day. We do not take that lightly or for granted. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you're Traylon Burks, Tajay Spears, or someone in Springfield eating cats.
What?
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford